What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Rolling North podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about the NFL Wildcard Weekend. We had all 6 games, obviously, this past weekend, and then we will talk a little bit about the Divisional Rounds, and we're also going to present to you the categories for the RTN Awards, which we will announce the winners of after you guys vote on them the week of the NFL Awards. But before we get into all that, gentlemen, how's everybody doing?
I don't know. I'm doing, I guess. I just uploaded a video. It's not monetized over some dumb shit, so I'm disputing it. But I also beat Cyberpunk 2077 today, and I started rewatching Cyberpunk Edge Runners, so like I can't complain too much. That shit is peak.
Fair enough. I'm alright. I had a mediocre game of darts, which is the best I've had since November. So I think we've come to a conclusion, an actual conclusion that I got cursed by, I will tell you guys the full story of the curse later, but I am like fully sold on that I have been cursed. And so is like everybody else. So we're going to find out, because tomorrow, I've been planning this tattoo for a while, but I have a bunch of Norse runes going on my hand. One of them is a protection rune, so we will find out like 2 weeks from now, because I'm not playing darts next week because of the subathon. But we will find out in like 2 weeks if I was cursed or not. So yeah, subathon's next week, like 6 days from now. Well, 5 days from now when you're watching this, actually.
Yes.
So that'll be fun. Next week we will probably be live recording Run the North. Oh no, we definitely will be, because we're starting the subathon at 5 p.m. my time. So no matter what, it would run to 5 p.m. on Thursday. But there already is time to add, because there's boxes of shit.
How much time?
I don't know. The boxes aren't open. I don't know what's in there.
Gotcha.
What's in the Amazon box?
Yeah, we will be playing
What's
that.
in the Amazon
Fent.
I sure hope not.
Geek is sitting on tons of scent right now.
No,
How
that's
fucking
that's
funny would it be?
alternate timeline Tarnath, not Geek.
No,
It might also be alternate timeline Geek, but not this timeline. We're in
How
the
funny.
mediocre timeline.
How funny would it be though if like you were opening the box and you're like, oh boy, someone bought me furniture. Oh, it's Fent.
I guess we won't know. We won't know.
That
until
wouldn't be
Wednesday.
okay.
We
That's
can,
illegal.
We can push the Fent narrative all the way up until Wednesday, and nobody will know.
Fent narrative.
I don't like
The
it
Fent
here.
Fent narrative is insane.
But yeah, I've got like multiple videos. Oh, did you get copyrighted for the Darnold video?
Yeah.
Damn.
That's so funny.
And you're losing
It's
all the
ridiculous.
revenue in the first 24 hours, so the appeal doesn't matter.
Well, it's an escrow right now.
Oh.
Does that help at all? It
No.
went in escrow before. Okay.
No.
No, the minute they take the copyright, they get all the revenue until the claim is reversed. And then they still get all the revenue from while they had it.
Well, it says the ad revenue is being held.
Oh, okay.
One
So,
moment.
well, maybe. Well, then
So that would be like
then it's like a
YouTube's holding
50-50.
it until
Yep.
they determine. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I might get my 32 cents.
Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Don't worry, we're going to say basically everything Miller said in that video on this podcast. And I'm going to make Jake clip it when I talk about it. Because I tried so hard all week not to crash out at people just so I could crash out here.
Fair.
But Jake, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I've had only Miller will probably, maybe not even Miller will know what I'm talking about. There's a pretty popular cover by Hozier going around right now, and it's been in my head all day. And it was like from like 6 years ago. It was this Arctic Monkey song that he covered.
Oh, I did
and
hear about that.
I've
It's
also
the most
heard
beautiful
that. So
thing I've ever heard, and I can't stop thinking about it. And I'll just catch myself like just bopping my head to it randomly. So yeah, that's been about the extent of my day, is trying to get Do I Want to Know by the Arctic Monkeys, covered by Hozier in 2018 out of my head.
W.
That's about it. Yeah. Oh, I run the show. I'm the one who moves
Yeah,
transitions things.
that
That's
is
right.
Yeah.
how that
But
works.
anywho, we'll talk a little bit about other sports before we hop into the NFL wildcard games, because there's only 6 games to talk about, so going to be a quickie on that end. But
Probably not.
well, yeah, we have a Vikings fan who's got a lot to say about his future franchise quarterback.
And let's
who is
be honest,
soon to
we've all
be
got a
on.
lot to say about every game because they're actually
I have
games that
nothing
matter.
to say about the first game. Not
All
the
right.
first game, the Packers game. Not
Oh, I have a
fight.
lot to say
Didn't
Oh
about the
yeah,
Packers game.
yeah.
There isn't actually anything to say about that game. Didn't happen. Anyway, college football playoff. Yeah, I had a rough sports weekend, man.
Yeah.
I had a rough sports weekend. Yeah, so college football playoff, obviously Penn State lost Notre Dame. It's whatever, dude. Like, I'm okay losing to a good team. It doesn't. Penn State, they have never in my lifetime given me enough hope for me to like expect good things from them. Like, I didn't think they were gonna win this game. What sucked is I was in Georgia all of last week, so I wasn't here last week, right? And we were all sitting in the common area, and everybody, pretty much everybody in the common area at the mission strip, I don't know why, but they were all Notre Dame fans. You know, everybody knew that I was a Penn State fan. So Drew Alar throws that last interception, and the room just burst out into laughter, and everybody was just like pointing and laughing at me. And everybody knew that I was a Penn State fan. Everybody knew what the stakes I had in this game, and everybody just burst out laughing at me.
Is
And
that why you
it was
existed the way you
terrible.
did on Monday night?
Uh,
So
no, I took the
aggressively
way I did
trolly.
on Monday night. Because I'll tell that story quick. I was supposed to leave Valdosta, Georgia, where I was at 6:13 a.m. The Delta app did not tell us that our flight was delayed, so we got there, and there was a security guard standing outside telling everybody way too aggressively for 6 a.m. that the flight had been delayed until 11 o'clock. And we didn't, and we literally, we turned in our rental car, and then the guy goes, "Hey, by the way, your flight's delayed until 11." And we were like, "Oh God!" So we had to sit in the airport until 11. And the flight ended up not even taking off until 2. I had to fly into Atlanta, and then they were like, "Hey, by the way, no flights to your hometown. Got to fly into Buffalo." And I had to fly into Buffalo the day of the Bills game, so I was sitting on a plane with all of these Bills fans, fresh off of the win against Denver, just going ballistic. And so I had to sit through that while I tried to sleep. And then I had to fly into Buffalo and then drive an hour and a half home. I was slated to get home originally from Valdosta at 11 a.m. Eastern, and I stepped into my apartment at 9 p.m. Eastern. So that most of that was just sitting in an airport. So that's why I was so mad on Monday, and I got off the plane to a 10-0 deficit too,
Yeah.
for the Packers. So just bad vibes all around. Anyway, yeah, everybody just burst out laughing at me and Drew Alar, and just wouldn't shut up about Drew Alar and how Riley Leonard was just the next Josh Allen, which I don't even have time to get into. But it's just yeah, all around not a good sports weekend for Jake. But Texas, Ohio State, Texas completely shut down Jeremiah Smith, and they still got torched. So I don't
That's
know.
good.
Ohio
That
State's
made me
gonna win-
happy.
Ohio State's gonna win the Natty pretty easily. I don't think Notre Dame's got a shot.
I want it
Their
to be
offense
Notre
isn't good enough
Dame
to keep pace.
for that thing I saw
I don't
about
have
that
enough faith
guy.
in their offense to keep pace.
I told
Riley
Miller
Leonard
about
is
this.
Riley Leonard is not.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, that'd be
Riley
funny.
Leonard is not a dude. He is. Yeah, he didn't
And
really do much to win against Penn State. They got gifted that field position by Mr. Alar, and that was because their kicker's the
but
goat.
you think Will Howard is that dude? The guy who has played below average every game of his life?
They beat the 1 seed by 30 points.
I don't care.
Eek.
I don't care. Don't give Will Howard credit for that.
You can't just. I
You
didn't,
cannot
but
just
I'm
give
saying,
Will Howard
even
the
if
credit.
he's average. Even if he's average, they beat the 1 seed by 30 points, blew them out of their shoes. An undefeated Oregon Duck team who had the #1 defense in the country got absolutely blown out of their shoes by an average Will Howard.
But
whatever. Texas, second best defense in the country, barely could move the ball against Ohio State defense, against Caleb Downs and Jack Sawyer. Will Howard didn't play a great game. Jeremiah Smith didn't play a great game. Game was never in doubt for him. It does not fucking matter.
Quinn Ewers and the Rose Bowl curse. That's all I have to say. Quinn Ewers and the Rose Bowl curse.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. And Riley Leonard is worse than Quinn Ewers by a country mile.
I don't know if I believe that.
And they don't have a single receiver who even touches Matthew Golden or Isaiah Bond.
That's fair.
Their receivers are literally like walk-on kids who barely play. They're receiver by committee.
Miller.
Yes,
Sorry.
Miller.
I just want to say this doesn't happen very often, so I want to take a moment to point it out. Jake just laid out like a genuine argument backed up with like real points, and then Geek fired back with goofy narrative point.
Yeah.
Never happens. Ever.
No, that's not how this goes at all. That is entirely fair. It is so normally the other way around.
Got Freaky Friday going on over here.
No, we got college football that I don't watch. So I have my uniform narrative and my fuck Texas narrative.
He doesn't know anything.
I'm winning. But
Anyway,
fuck Texas and uniform narratives.
I don't know anything either, but notice how I'm not talking because I know that I don't know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to keep quiet and let the person that knows talk about it.
Fuck Texas. I'm not actually making real arguments. It's just the fuck Texas and the Rose Bowl uniform argument. And it would be way funnier if the guy that bet cutting off his own dick, week 2 when Notre Dame lost, a guy made this bet that if they won the national championship, he would cut off his ding dong, and it would be way funnier if they won.
I hope Notre Dame wins, not because of that, but because by proxy, that means Northern Illinois is the best team in college football this year, and I think that's really funny.
Yeah.
Brock Lampy.
So Miller is rooting for the Rams to win the Super Bowl because the Bears beat them. So by proxy, somehow that matters.
That would be awesome, actually. If the Rams win the Super Bowl, then me and Miller both beat them. I mean, come on.
Womp womp. Imagine not beating the Rams.
Imagine playing the Rams with any of their Pro Bowl players.
They had 2 shots at them.
Did Cooper Kupp or Puka Nacua play against you guys? No, I don't want to hear it.
Hey, right. They're 0-2 just like the Packers are in 2025.
Hey, quick question. How many times did either of your teams beat the Vikings?
Every time I try and be on your side, you have to spin it and be a dick.
I can't associate myself with the Packers fan. I can't do it.
How many times did you two beat the Vikings? How many times did your teams win?
About last year. Bro's talking about 2024. We're leaving 2024 and 2024.
We ended up in the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
It didn't matter.
Imagine not winning a game in the big 2025.
I mean,
okay, well,
you beat some backups. Congratulations, Bozo.
We were winning when the starters were in.
Don't care.
I do.
So what, you get to victory lap because you were beating the Vikings at like halftime? So victory lap?
Stop that.
Dude, listen, it's really... So listen, my room has a direct connection to the garage. It is fucking freezing outside. I am doing whatever I can to give my body extra heat. No, I was taking my hands and smacking my knees to try to generate warmth.
Sorry.
I wasn't
didn't know that
thinking.
You were penguining.
But,
yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, no, it's like fucking 8 degrees in this room. It's horrible. I'm trying to keep myself warm.
Well,
we have 85-mile-an-hour wind outside right now. It's incredible.
Here, I'll tell you the exact temperature right now.
Ooh, we doing temperature comparisons?
And I don't know what it is in Rochester. I think it's like 15. 20. It's like 20.
It is currently a crisp. That's a real 25, and then the real feel is 6.
Damn. It's warm for you. Or cold for you this time. It's warm for me. We're at 38, but with a real feel of 12. Dude, the wind is blowing so hard, my house rattles.
Man, skill issue.
It's freaky as hell.
But Ohio State, Notre Dame, national championship. Bad vibes all around. I don't want either of these teams to have a natty, but
true.
Yeah, I've always hated Ohio State because they're Big Ten, and Notre Dame is basically Big Ten. So
I saw
like either of those
somebody
teams.
wanting to discredit if Notre Dame won because they lost to NIU, and they somehow were defending Ohio State losing to Michigan, though, which was pretty incredible. They're like, yeah,
It's
well,
okay.
it's okay
It's
that
okay.
Ohio State
Listen.
lost to Michigan, but it's not okay that Notre Dame.
Geek, you can say Grayson's name.
It
We all
wasn't
know who he
Grayson.
is.
I said the
Miller
same
said
thing.
the
I said
same
the
fucking
same
thing.
thing.
That's insane.
Well, it's just in my head because Grayson was going off about how it's like Penn State shouldn't have lost Notre Dame because Notre Dame lost to NIU, while completely disregarding the fact that Notre Dame is a good football team who played a good football game and beat
Yeah,
Penn State.
I didn't know that
I thought you
happened.
were talking about Grayson.
No.
Yeah, no.
Shockingly,
Grayson
no.
was making bad faith NIU argument in one of our discords. So
Grayson
guess
and
more than
bad
one
faith
person is doing
argument
it.
are redundant.
this is nothing. Grayson was making an argument. That's what I should say.
Grayson was. That's it. We can move on.
There you go.
What other sports? The Raptors beat the Celtics yesterday, so that was cool. Having one of the worst teams in the East step up and beat the second best team in the East.
The Timberwolves suck.
Zach Edey dunked on Victor Wembanyama. That happened.
Yeah, but Hector Banana Bread also had like 8 blocks in that game, dude.
Victor Banana Bread.
Yeah.
Is that who that was talking about?
Yeah. Have you not seen the Reddit post?
No, I'm saying, like, is that what the Reddit post was talking about?
Yeah, she was yeah. She posted an update. She was looking for a Victor Wembanyama jersey.
I thought it was somebody on the Warriors because he likes Steph Curry or like the Lakers or something.
She said he was a Lakers fan, but no, it ended up being Victor Wembanyama.
Hector Banana Bread. Yeah,
they're running with it. It's a real thing now, man.
That's crazy. But yeah, the Timberwolves sucked. The Raptors sucked. The Spurs actually don't know how the Spurs are doing.
Anthony Edwards come out and talk about the Timberwolves? It has me concerned.
I mean, knowing him, he probably didn't hold back.
Yeah, he was like, the starting 5, we are terrible. I'd say that as the starting group, we got to come out with more energy, like we want to play the game of basketball. Seems like the second team's I'm feeling Jimmy Butler vibes again, and I don't like it.
I think what he wanted to say was Rudy Gobert is terrible, but the media...
Yeah, we should have kept Cat. I'm upset.
His media trainer was like, hey, just say the entire 5 so nobody...
I would like to fire the entire front office of the Timberwolves directly into the sun.
I don't know, man. Minnesota sports. What are you gonna do?
I know.
Feel like happiness does not.
I know.
Await you.
It's worse because the only team.
One of your teams made the playoffs. I guess the other ones probably won't, but
the Timberwolves probably still will.
With the play-in, who knows what they do in the play-in?
With Anthony Edwards, you truly never know. You can go on a run or you can lose in the first round. We'll see.
Are they even gonna play in the play-in?
What do you mean? That's where they're slated to be currently. They're the 8th seed.
Yeah.
Barely the 8th seed. They're right in the map. Actually, the Timberwolves are 1 win away from being tied for the 5th seed. So who knows what's going on?
Yeah.
They're only like 1 game back.
The West is weird. The only good team in basketball is the Thunder. The Thunder and the Cavs. That's it.
There goes my question for Miller. I was going to ask him who the best team in basketball is.
Oh, I knew it was the Thunder. I've seen people going crazy over what's their GM's name?
Sam Presti.
Yeah, I've seen people going crazy over Presti on the timeline today. So I
I mean, Shea is really good, and they're really good. I did not know the Rockets were the 2 seed. I cannot lie.
I didn't know that either.
That makes no sense to me. Sengun stinks. Anyway, yeah, the Spurs are actually worse than the Timberwolves. So you got something on one of us, I guess. Actually, both of us. The Raptors are definitely worse too. Yep.
That's all right.
Yikes.
I don't know.
Geek has the best basketball team.
I barely pay attention to.
Podcast.
You can one up me in that one. Let's go.
Well, I can one up you in football too. Don't worry.
How many wins in 2025?
When's the last time the Bears made the playoffs?
How many wins against the Rams?
This guy's so concerned about the past. It's crazy.
I mean, technically, you're also concerned about the past.
Which team has the brighter future? Let's think.
Actually, do we actually want to answer that? Who's your coach?
Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson.
No, he's not. You currently don't have one. You are just as likely to have Mike McCarthy as you are to have Ben Johnson. Don't do that.
Yeah, but
Actually, you're just as
Caleb
likely to have
Williams.
Ron Rivera.
Caleb Williams.
Cool. You gonna get him some O-line or no? You gonna get him some offensive coaching or no?
I mean,
You gonna get him some overall coaching or no? You gonna get him some ownership or no?
Hey, how many yards does JJ McCarthy have in the NFL?
Hmm.
How many wins does
Injured.
JJ McCarthy have in the NFL?
Physically cannot play football.
Yeah, that's insane. I'm sorry Sam Darnold just performed better than your generational quarterback for an entire season. That's gotta hurt a little.
Yeah, but what happened when you guys like needed him to play good? What did he do again?
Yeah, I'm sorry Caleb never even got the chance to play in a single meaningful football game.
I mean, he led how many game-winning drives this year?
What, one?
Should have been game-winning drives.
Yeah,
I'll
you
say.
cannot do the hypothetical bullshit. Because in that case, you know how many wins JJ McCarthy has? Fucking 14. No, 14. If we're doing hypothetical bullshit world, he was on the team the entire time, you dumb fuck.
Caleb Williams led a lot more game-winning drives than the box scores will tell you.
Yeah, because they didn't win the fucking game. They're not game-winning drives if you lose.
If you put your team in position to win a football game and then something out of your control fucks you over, I can't blame that on the quarterback.
Hail Mary, block kick, Eberflus, timeout.
Hail Mary in fucking Washington.
That was what I just said.
Yeah, he literally
I didn't
said
hear you say that. I heard
said,
blocked kick, Eberflus.
Hail Mary, block kick, Eberflus, timeout, Thanksgiving. Packers week 18, which was an actual one.
Yeah.
And
there was another botch situation with time. I can't remember what game it was. There's another.
I guess the Vikings, the clock, wasn't it?
The second time we beat them by 30. So no.
The first time we played the Vikings, it was shit play calling. Yeah, Caleb took the Vikings to overtime, and then
that's basically winning. I'll take that one too.
Thomas Brown shit the bed.
Shocker. Anyway, this got off the rails.
Yeah, bro decided to become Jake and be Mr. Moral Victory, man.
Oh no.
It's all right.
Well, I mean, my team has real victories in the current calendar year.
With moral victories.
Right,
there's nothing wrong with moral victories. They have their time and place, and sometimes they just make you feel better and not as suicidal. So
real.
There's that.
Be a Vikings fan. You're always suicidal.
Why would I ever be a Vikings fan?
That's a fantastic point.
You can't say that while being a Bears fan.
Yeah, I can. I actively will.
Literally everything is worse about the Bears.
Except for the fact that they have.
I mean,
raise your hand.
Whoa, worse, though,
Miller.
Oh,
Miller. How many Super Bowls do the Bears have? Just put that out there. And Geek.
How many Super Bowls have we witnessed in our lifetimes? Go ahead and. Yeah, only Jake wins that one.
Yeah.
Why'd you say something?
At least I have one I could look back.
I wasn't trying to win. No, the point
at?
was supposed to be that neither of us have actually seen our teams win, so it doesn't matter. It's weird to victory lap a game from a team you weren't alive to see. Have fun victory lapping.
Not really. I can go back and I could literally go on YouTube right now and watch the game and go, "Wow, look at how good the Bears were. Look at me watching my team win a Super Bowl." You can't do that.
You're right.
Ever.
Oh man, I can't believe this is where we ended up. It always goes this way.
Anyways,
Miller is just happy he has one thing to brag about, and that's the one win the Bears have this year. Don't worry, they'll get 4 more next, when the regular season starts back up.
I hope JJ McCarthy sucks.
He won't.
Really
we have a real coach.
Terrible.
I know the Bears wouldn't know what that's like.
Is bad.
Not every player is fixable by coaching. I hate to break that to you.
JJ
Some guys
is better than anybody that Kevin O'Connell has worked with so far.
Okay, that doesn't mean they're going to mesh. Anything can happen. We haven't seen him play yet. You can't say that he's going to be good. There's no guarantees. He could still suck, and I hope he does. I think that would be really funny.
Don't worry. The Bears just will continue to win less than 8 games every year, so who cares?
Okay, so you'll be stuck in mediocrity every year. You won't even be bad enough to get excited about the draft. You'll be stuck at like what, pick 18 every year?
No, we're stuck at like pick 22 every year.
Okay, so even worse.
No, because we at least made the playoffs. All right, do the fucking
And how did
quick
that
ball.
go for you?
Just about like every Bears game goes for you.
Okay, well, at least I didn't have expectations to have let down.
I didn't really have expectations either. We were supposed to be worse than the Bears. How'd that work out?
Well, I mean, that's what will happen when you have 2 domestic terrorists running your offense.
Don't worry, that's
Both of
going to
which have
happen
been
again.
exiled from the franchise.
Yeah,
You
but
think Ben
Ben
Johnson's a domestic terrorist?
Ben Johnson's not going to
Wow.
go to the Bears.
Bet he
What
is.
else?
Vegas thinks he is.
I don't care. Vegas also thought the Vikings would beat the Rams.
Well, Vegas just didn't bet on the indomitable human spirit and Sam Darnold being Sam Darnold, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I don't think
Vegas didn't bet on the
Vegas's
ghosts,
back line
man.
Was anywhere near 9. I'll tell
Exactly.
you that much.
Vegas should have bet on the
What if
ghosts.
the real ghosts were Chris Shula all along?
No, I think the real ghosts are. I think the real ghost is just Bill Belichick's defense. That's when he started seeing the ghosts, and it just never went away.
So what we've learned is Jared Goff, Jesus. Jared Goff sucks. He's irrelevant. I don't even want
True.
to talk about that guy.
Okay,
Sam
well,
Darnold can't perform against defenses led by people with generational last names like Belichick or Shula, which also
Or-
might mean that Aaron Glenn is going to be one of the best defensive minds in the next 20 years.
Could be. Could be. He had, the odds are on his side. Do your quick ball.
Oh, yeah. What's in it?
A mint.
No.
got him. Never mind.
Imagine. It
Hold
like
on, hold on.
rolled around. What the fuck was in there?
Yeah, can you guys hear it?
And an
Not
entire
now.
steak dinner
Oh, no, there's not entire. If I could figure that out, that'd be sick.
would be. Yeah. Like tiny steak dinner. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it sports related?
No,
It is. It's rolling around. Is it a dice? It's a dice.
it's not a dice. No, it's not a singular die.
Is it multiple
it-
die?
Is it multiple
No.
dice?
Nothing to do with D&D.
No, almost that. I was thinking a regular dice. Jeez, this guy.
All dice have to do with D&D, Jake. Get it together.
If you really think about
Everything
it.
is about D&D all the time.
Okay. Is it related to something on the back wall over there?
Not on the back wall, no.
Show me your desk.
Are you being a semantic-y little douchebag and it's something to do
Show
with
me
something on the
Show
shelves?
me your desk.
Because that's
No,
not on the
no.
wall.
It is something
Okay.
it is something on my desk.
Show
Miller
me-
Football's right corner of mystery. Back right corner of mystery over here.
Is it like an M&M?
is
That looks like a
No.
big jar.
it-
Yeah, that looks like a big jar. Is it some kind of candy?
It's some kind of
No.
candy. It's
No.
what? What else
It's
would be in
not.
that
Yeah, dude,
jar?
I don't know. I don't care.
It's
Is
not
it
a jar.
food?
Look, okay, I'll show you what it was.
Oh,
That wasn't a jar. It was a fucking Megatron.
No.
that looked like a lid and then a jar. That was. It
No,
really
was
does.
Megatron.
Look at that.
It does.
That's
it
insane.
does. But no, it's
Is it
Megatron.
a piece of technology?
No,
I sure hope not
Is
with
it
the way he was
related
shaking
to a
it.
piece of technology?
it is not a piece of technology. What'd you say, Jake?
Is it related to a piece of technology? Oh my
Kind
God.
of. Not the way you'd think, so I'm gonna say no. But like semantically, you could say it is.
He's got me stumped on this one.
Yeah, I had
don't
no
know
clue. I
what-
quit.
I don't know what the
Oh,
deal is.
you guys
here.
give up?
I
Yeah,
did.
I'm cool with giving. I'm cool with
Okay.
giving in.
It is the spare head for an anime figure I have sitting over on the
Alright.
side of my desk.
How could that
specifically-
semantically be related to a piece of technology?
Because it's a head of a robot.
Oh my god! Oh,
Shout out Gurren Lagann.
Semantically, he is
no.
correct. Trust me,
Yes,
I'm
that's
semantic man. Oh, all right, what are we talking about now, Jake?
Wildcard games, man. NFL.
Uh,
thought you just said
Herbert's
vodka, I'm not
explosion.
gonna
Let's
lie.
go.
Yeah. So a couple thoughts about that. Again, another funny Georgia story. we were watching this game, a bunch of people, and there's a couple older white gentlemen sitting behind me and my pastor, and we're watching the game. Herbert throws his fourth pick of the game, and one of them just goes, "Oh my god, this guy sucks," and then the other guy goes, "Yeah, the media treats him like this king, but I haven't seen anything from him that would make me think he's a good quarterback," and so of course I had to hear the old white man Justin Herbert dialogue, and in earlier in the game, unfortunately also the old white man C.J. Stroud dialogue earlier in the game, which was worse. So yeah, it was a fun watching experience for me, but I didn't know Herbert had thrown 4 picks. We came into the game super late. He threw the 4th pick, and I was like, "Oh man, that sucks. He threw a pick." And then whoever it was calling the game was just like, "It's 4th of the night." I was like, "What
Oh
the fuck?
God,
Like,
yeah,
what
dude.
happened?"
Herbert sucked. Like, actually,
Yeah.
I know I saw somebody. I think Miller, you reposted the video of the guy who's like, "Well, Herbert wasn't really that bad." It's like, I don't care.
You didn't
dude,
watch that full video because that's
I
not what
didn't
it
finish
was.
it. That's like how
it
it
was- it
started,
was,
and he like tried to start
yeah.
defending him, and I was like,
No,
"Yeah, you're dumb."
It was Anthony from Esquire Sports, and he starts
Oh.
the video like that, and then immediately it cuts. It goes, "I'm sorry, I had to get everybody's attention.
Ah,
TikTok's about to die. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel."
yeah, I scrolled away. I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah, no,
I
he
can't."
wasn't actually defending Herbert.
There is no defense this time. This was his fault, man.
Yeah,
Like,
no, he finally had a bad game.
Yeah,
One.
that
2 times
crossbody.
the AFC South in the playoffs. Herbo bad game.
He didn't play that bad in the last one. I don't know what's up with this revisionist history.
He
Yeah,
blew a
they lost
27-point
that-
lead.
No,
Score some points.
No. Brandon
Didn't Trevor
Staley blew a
Lawrence-
27-point lead. Did you not watch that game?
Oh, I did.
I don't think
How
he
many
did.
They didn't
points
run
did
the
the
ball-
offense score in the second half?
Right, because they didn't run the ball in the second half. So the Jaguars started dropping 8 guys into coverage every fucking play. You show me any quarterback in the league right now that's winning against 8 guys in coverage every play.
Quick thing. If Justin Herbert is so good, why didn't he do this cool thing? I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Audible. Change the
I don't know
play.
if you've heard of this guy
Oh
called
my
Brandon
God.
Staley, but he doesn't let his quarterback do
He
things like
doesn't
that.
have
There's a-
control over that.
Yes,
Herbo
he does.
could
He
have
can
just done
fucking
it.
pull Herbert.
Then let him, and let it be
Pull him.
his fault then.
Okay,
Also, Geek,
but-
do you remember how many times Justin Herbert turned the ball over against the Jags? And put the
Doesn't
ball in harm's
matter.
way?
Okay,
Answer is 0.
I do this same thing to Matt Ryan and Kyle Shanahan. I have kept the same energy all the time. When you blow a lead that big, your offense was the problem. And as the quarterback, you do have the power to change it and do what you want. Just
Hey,
because you
there's a
chose
lot of
not
guys-
to because you're afraid, that's not my fault. I
Okay,
watched Dak
but also,
Prescott
like-
change the
You cannot-
play
no.
47 times.
You
But also,
cannot
like-
boil it down to something that. Hold on, Jake. You cannot boil it down to something that simple because the politics of navigating a relationship between a coach and a quarterback
Very
is not as simple as I'm going to do what I want today with no repercussions. Yippee! Because as soon as that game's over, there is going to be fucking hell to be paid. And then on top
So
of
as
that,
a
on
quarterback, just
Herbert's-
accept the loss and don't try. Cool.
Can I finish talking? On top of that, if Herbert wins that game, you know who probably gets another year in LA as the head coach?
Well, he did.
Right. Okay. Do you not think his leash should be even longer? You look back at it, the year you fired him, you look back and go, well, we beat the Jaguars in the wild card game pretty bad. I think there's still something there. This was just a bad year. So then Staley gets another year. You don't get Harbaugh. Herbert was probably looking at that as like, okay, well, fuck, I'm doing what I can. It's not working. We're getting Staley fired. Praise Jesus. Hallelujah. Like, there's so many things that can go into it that you can't just say, well, the quarterback should have audibled. Sometimes the quarterback isn't allowed to audible in the offense. There are some offenses out there. Well, they will straight up tell the quarterback they're not allowed to make those kind of adjustments. That's the truth. Especially with Herbert, who was what, like year 3? That's like right when they start getting freedom.
Yeah.
A lot of quarterbacks don't get freedom like that until like year 3.
So you're saying he still
also-
had zero freedom year 3.
Probably
Also,
didn't have the freedom to change every
this
play
is-
on a whim
I
every
didn't
single
say every
down
play,
of the
but he could have
second half.
done literally anything at any point.
This is my
Just a
point.
thought.
Also, remember, Brandon Staley's a defensive-minded coach, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. The conservative dumbassery, but he didn't even play conservative because he didn't run the
Man,
ball.
maybe Brandon Staley's elite defensive coaching was part of the reason why they blew such a huge lead. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, you cannot give zero blame to the guy who put up 0 points in an entire half.
You can't get.
Hey,
You can't
but
get.
you
zero
can't
blame
put
to
all
you're
of
trying.
the blame on Herbert.
That's the difference. You're trying to. I said maybe.
Herbert, all you've said is Herbert should have audibled. Herbert, blah blah blah. Herbert, blah blah blah.
That's
Because I'm trying to say. Because actually,
Herbert.
the
Nothing
exact
about the
thing I
defense.
said, I know listening isn't
Was that
something
Herbert should have
Packers fans are
audibled,
good at.
And
But
that Herbert.
I said Herbert was now 0-2 in
defense.
playoff games against the AFC South. Fact. You said he didn't play that bad in the first game. I said, true, other than he didn't score any in the second half, which is a fact. You're trying to argue that I said he played the shittiest game of all time. That's not even kind of close to what happened. You're making up your own fucking story.
You said he. Okay, no, now you're making your own fucking story. Never once did either of us say, Geek, you said Herbert played the worst game of all time.
No, but
that was never words that came out of either of our mouths. None of the blame can go
on Herbert. It's all got to go to the coach. No, some of it has to go to Herbert. Do something. You are the quarterback.
Neither one of us said Herbert is not at fault at all.
Because
you were saying you're making a
mention the defense. You didn't say a word about the defense. You said Herbert should have audibled. Herbert didn't score a single
offensively,
point.
when your defense is struggling, you know what does help? Keep the ball, score some points. Anything.
Tell that to Brandon Staley. Tell that to the guy coaching the team. That's his job. It's his job to call the plays.
They didn't turn the ball over once the entire game.
Herbert's job isn't to call the plays, it's to execute them. Can he audible? Right. Sure. But no quarterback should ever be in a situation where they have to audible every single down, or more often than not. That should never be a situation a quarterback is in.
He doesn't have to do it that way, though. If he audibles 4 fucking times and actually shows that they're going to pretend to try to run the ball, they can't drop 8. I know. Thinking, about how changing something early changes things late is difficult, but that's how that works. If we change it early, right? If you start running the ball a bit early and do some audibles, first, that might change the way the play caller is calling the plays to begin with, because, oh yeah, run ball. But also, it changes the way the defense is going to react to you. So if he changes some plays in the third quarter, he might not have to change a thing in the fourth quarter. He might not. We are living in hypothetical land here. Either way we talk about it, it's hypothetical land. So hypothetically, the most likely thing that happens is that. This is such a weird tangent we have broken off on.
The whole point I'm trying to make here is I'm sick of people acting like that Chargers game or that Jaguars game was Herbert's fault and that Herbert played some dog shit game. Not saying that you said that.
That's how you're
just
acting.
In general. Well, no, because
I'm sick of people pretending that Herbert has been perfect. I'm sorry. We've tried to crown him over Joe Burrow as a better quarterback, yet he's done nothing ever. And now he has a team and he does nothing. Actually, he plays the worst game of his life. He has a real coach and a real team, and he just sucks. Like, this matters.
For one game. He played one bad game with the real coach and the real team. One bad game.
Yeah. He'll be perfect next time for sure.
No one's asking him to be fucking perfect. I'm just saying he played one bad game. Herbert's looked great this year. He played one bad game. That is objectively true. If you watch Justin Herbert with your own 2 fucking eyes, you would see that he's one of the 5 most talented quarterbacks in football this year. Easily.
Sure, but if we go by talent, one of the other 5 most talented is Anthony Richardson, and he's one of the 5 worst quarterbacks in football.
Okay, if we're getting fucking semantical, then one of the 5 best that executes. He executes. He uses the talent in a good way. Sure. He doesn't say, look at me, I run ball good. Ooh. No, he actually executes.
Sure.
He's a tactician with the talent.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I guess it doesn't matter because we'll never figure out a middle ground. He's the perfect prince or apparently he's shit, which isn't the argument I was making, but
and I'm not making the argument that he's a perfect prince either. I'm just saying I'm sick of hearing the way people talk about Herbert negatively. It's idiotic. It's never made any sense. And I'm not even saying that that's you specifically. It's just that's what that started as, and you started to take that side, and I blew up because that hatred for those people got channeled into you in that moment. So I apologize, but I'm sick and tired of the way people talk about Justin Herbert. It's so fucking annoying. We are in year 5. We should not have to still defend this guy like he's this underrated gem. He's an incredible football player. It's on display every week apart from this game. This is the one exception to that point.
I mean,
he's been incredible outside of that. We shouldn't have to look at him every week and go, hypothetical man. If you would shut the fuck up and watch the games, you would realize how good Justin Herbert is.
We still have to defend Lamar Jackson, and he has been better in every game than Herbert. So, that doesn't, and that's not a shot at Herbert. That's, I think Lamar's the best quarterback in the NFL. So, yeah, this is racist.
Where that differs for me, though. Yeah, because that's the thing. I'm not going to argue with racists. If at this point you hate Lamar Jackson, you think he's not a good quarterback, there is no real argument other than he's not white.
But he lost to Mahomes last year.
With you. Okay, and that gets into my whole QB wins bullshit. I don't argue with people who are racist, and I don't argue with people who think wins are a quarterback stat. In my eyes, when it comes to football dialogue, those people are on even playing field. They're the worst types of people.
No, and my whole Herbert and the Jags game thing is just me keeping the same energy I keep every time a team blows a major lead. Yes, the defense matters, but also as an offense, if you score again, they cannot come back. If you do literally anything, this doesn't happen. Every time.
Here's the thing. What year is that? 2022?
I don't know. Yeah. While you're looking that up, the Texans
2023
are still interesting.
Well, yeah, but it was the 2022 season.
Real quick.
Who was their OC? That's the real evil man here.
Ooh, so does this mean I get to continue to push my Kyle Shanahan was the evil man in the Falcons Super Bowl loss?
That was, who was that? Oh my gosh. Who was that?
Who was that?
War criminal.
Joe Lombardi. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Kill Joe.
Where does he work now?
Costco?
No.
McDonald's?
Joe Lombardi is the offensive coordinator of the Denver Broncos. Yeah.
So he draws plays and Sean Payton hangs them up on the refrigerator with alphabet magnets.
I don't know. I think he's just there so Sean Payton can pretend any bad play call was Joe Lombardi's fault somehow.
I mean, would he be wrong?
Yes, because Joe Lombardi doesn't call the plays.
Nope. I think, honestly, if Sean Payton
I know. You want to defend Sean Payton like he's one of the 5 greatest coaches ever when he's mediocre, but that's fine.
Not even what I'm saying. I'm just saying Joe Lombardi's one of the worst offensive minds we've ever seen. So it would be very easy to scapegoat him and make people believe it.
But he doesn't call plays, so no, it wouldn't. The only people who are believing that are idiots.
I'm just saying, if Sean Payton came out and was like, yeah, there's plays where we lost yards, I let Joe call one for funsies. I'd believe it.
Yeah. The only time our offense does anything bad, it's Joe Lombardi's fault. Couldn't be mine. All right. Sean Payton, Donald Trump, same
That's
guy.
That's what I would do.
Good strat.
Honestly. That's what I would do. I would just be like, yeah, the good stuff, that was me. But when
no, Sean Payton would go, he'd say, no, the good stuff, that was Bo Nix, but I taught him everything he knows. All the bad stuff, that was Joe Lombardi. And then he'd shoot Joe Lombardi.
Yeah, the good stuff, yeah, that was all Bo Nix's backpack.
It all came from Bo Nix's backpack.
All the plays were in Bo Nix's backpack. And that's
also, the other real evil person from that Jaguars game is that bald dude who wore number 30.
And the bald dude who wears number 13.
What an incredible argument we just had for no reason.
Yeah, also Herbert supporting cast in that game.
Keenan had 60 yards.
I mean, I was going to say, I've been told Keenan's good at football.
He was that
in 2022 he was.
I've been told he's always been good at football.
Has he had a bad year?
I'm pretty sure every year, but this past year he was very, very, very solid.
Chicago problems.
They got into a crowded wide receiver room. Happens.
All right, man. Listen, Keenan had a down year this year, but still had over 700 yards and 7 touchdowns in an offense ran by Al Qaeda's finest. So.
And be careful. That one guy's going to get real mad in the comments.
That one guy can suck my entire dick and balls.
I really
I
wish
mean
Jake
that
had seen any of
wholeheartedly.
what happened. It
Yeah,
was
fucking
so
pussy
fucking
deleted his
funny.
comment.
It was so funny.
You understand? I was in the Discord call when we read over those
Yeah,
entire
Jake
comments,
was
were
right?
there.
were
Like,
you?
I heard everything.
Well, no,
Yeah.
you heard the
It's
beginning.
okay. The Jake erasure in your
No,
mind is
you heard
clear,
the beginning. I'm talking about
Okay,
what
Geek-
it devolved
is
to.
right.
It got
He is right.
crazy, dude. He responded like 7 times. Like
Yeah, he kept
genuinely,
going back.
it went
I got-
crazy. I wasn't
Look, okay,
erasing
I'm not
you.
gonna
I was
lie.
talking about the whole.
I don't respond to YouTube comments that are negative very often, unless it's like on my videos. If I get something where someone's like, "I disagree with your opinion on this. I think X, Y, and Z," then I will defend my opinion. But if someone's just like being an asshole or being stupid, I try to ignore those people as much as possible. However, with that guy, it was just fucking hilarious because he could not understand the concept of the Hitler versus Stalin meme.
He just couldn't understand the concept of a joke. Like
Right.
actually, he could not that joke in particular. The concept of a joke.
Like he thought I was being dead serious when I compared Sean McDermott to what was it? We said is it Hitler versus Stalin? Then I said
So-
no, he's Bin Laden because he made the fucking 9/11
Yeah.
reference.
No, so I had said he was Hitler. I think it was Jake who had said no, he's
Jake
Stalin.
wasn't here. It was
Was it?
Caleb.
Caleb.
Oh, maybe it
It
was
was that
Caleb
Mr.
then.
Caleb.
I don't
Yep.
remember.
Here we go
No.
again.
Sorry, my
That
memory
wasn't
doesn't
Jake
work the
erasure.
same.
That was Jake insertion.
Yeah,
He was putting
I
you where you
included
don't
you
belong.
actually. So fuck you.
Yeah.
Never
would
doing
not
that
like
again.
Geek to
I'm
insert
never
me. I
including
would
Jake
not like
ever
Geek to
again. We're
insert me.
done.
I would not like Geek to. I do not consent. I do not consent.
You don't want Geek to insert you?
All right.
No, I'm not-
Can we
I-
talk about the Texans?
Get
I'd
it? Like
rather insert
homosexuality?
myself, Thank
Oh
you.
my god. So
Shout out
What's
to our
that?
gay viewers. We love you.
so
Yeah, we do. We do. Yeah, I feel the need to put that out there. I guess all the hockey teams are having their pride nights, so just know
Oh,
that we
true.
stand with you. Anyway.
Run the North. Keep in
Deontay
mind,
Johnson got cut again.
and then signed again by the Ravens.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say real quick. Keep in mind, Run the North, a sports podcast, is for the gays and theys. We are in full support. I know I'm laughing. I'm laughing more because I'm thinking about Deontay Johnson. Sorry. Okay.
Anyway,
In all seriousness, pro LGBTQ over here. Want to put that out there because not a lot of sports podcasts are. We absolutely are.
How does
That
this
being said,
become a
Deontay
tangent
Johnson-
every week? Actually,
We
how?
just go on random tangents, but like, listen, what I'm laughing about is it is really funny that Deontay Johnson has gotten cut 4 times this year.
Yeah.
Baltimore
Okay,
cut
here's the
him
thing.
for not liking him, and then they were like, "You
it's
can come back."
genius. If he just acts like an asshole after every playoff game, he'll keep getting cut and signed to a team that's still in it, and
True.
eventually he'll end up on the Super Bowl champion.
He'll end up on
and
the
he'll
Chiefs.
win.
He's on the Super Bowl champion right now.
He could
He's
be.
on the Chiefs.
But I'm saying, like, if the Ravens lose to the Bills this week and he just goes in the locker room and he's just like, he does his usual stuff, they'll cut him, and then maybe the Bills will sign him, and he'll be like, okay. And then if the Bills lose to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship, he just goes, meh, 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 and
No,
might be
I
the Super Bowl
truly think he's got to be final straw at this point, right?
Also, I don't think the Bills would sign him specifically after the Diggs fiasco.
I
True.
also can't believe the Ravens would even consider signing him after the debacle that was just 3 weeks there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They pulled the "I can't quit you."
True.
Anyway, yeah. So the Texans' defense is really good.
Yeah.
And
Kamari Lassiter is incrreal.
Yeah.
their offense is not.
I'm
Yeah, those are the two
so
things about the Texans.
I
I don't
feel
know
like
how to feel
that's
about their offense.
sorry.
They're not great.
I
They're
feel
not
like-
great. They're slow. They're sluggish. They're maybe even bad. I don't know.
It's
Maybe
'cause
Bobby Slow.
all they've got
who we
is
thought-
Nico, and then they keep pretending John Mechie's not the second best receiver on their team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
he's
he's
the
not
second
out
too.
there every snap confuses me. Like, and he's
But,
not the second best overall. Obviously, Diggs and Tank Dell. They're not with the team currently. So Mechie is the
Yeah.
only other guy with some juice, and they keep not putting him out there.
But Xavier Hutchinson.
Respect him, buddy. Respect him.
Patrick's favorite receiver in that
I will
class.
never forgive myself for letting NFL TikTok talking me into Xavier Hutchinson. I did not like him. And then all of my peers on NFL TikTok were like, but he's top 10. And I kept watching, and I was like, he's not top 10. But then I caved to peer pressure, and I was like, fine, he's top 10. And he sucks now.
You know what take I feel great about?
But,
Amari
CJ
Lassiter.
Stroud.
yeah, Lassiter and another guy we'll talk about with the Ravens both taught me a very valuable lesson when it comes to scouting. And that is don't focus on the weaknesses.
No,
Because teams will.
that's not even it. Just stop focusing on 40 time as if it has ever once mattered in the history of football.
Dude, okay, listen, the 40 time, like, I know I made a tweet about that, but, like, genuinely speaking, I watched him on tape and was concerned about his game speed. But the problem is the Texans play him in a way that his speed isn't really super important to what he's doing. Here's the thing, right? Theo Ash made a great video about this on TikTok the other day, and it really clicked with me because he was talking about Quinion Mitchell, I think was his big example because he didn't like Quinion Mitchell. If you focus on the negatives as a draft analyst, as a scout, whatever, you're overlooking a lot of possibility because any negative that you see, NFL teams are going to see too, but they know ways to work around it. They know ways to make it not a problem. Look at it, another big example, and we'll talk about him too, Braden Fisk for the Rams. I was gung-ho and saying that was a horrible pick for the Rams because Braden Fisk, to this day, still can't consistently get off a block. He can't. He just doesn't have good hand usage. He doesn't have the lower body strength. It's just not his thing. The Rams don't give a fuck. They just stunt every play. They just make ways to get him clear paths to the quarterback, and he was one of the most productive rookie pass rushers this year. There are ways to scheme around players' weaknesses, so if you focus on those weaknesses, you're going to get burned, and that was what happened. I can't speak for you guys, obviously, but like for me specifically, I got burned hard by Lassiter, by Braden Fisk, by Roger Rosengarten, by Jaden Daniels, all of these guys where I was too caught up on the negative and overlooked like clear traits that could be honed into something special.
The issue is you have to look at the negatives sometimes, or else you truly can make an argument that every player should be a first-round pick and they're all generational. And they're
Let me rephrase
no,
that.
I'm not
then.
saying it in a phrasing way, but it is you can't over harp on the negatives, but you do have to acknowledge them because they matter to a degree. I genuinely have never thought 40 time matters. Every fast guy, like 95% of the guys who run the fastest 40 time fucking suck. And all the people we look at that are really good at everything, but they ran a slow 40, end up as the best players in the league. 40 time doesn't matter. When you put on pads, suddenly you're slower.
Yeah, no, and I agree 100%. Like I said, specifically with Lassiter, I tweeted about the 40 time because that's the joke. You know, everyone talked about the 40 time. Realistically, I was concerned with his game speed watching him in college, but it hasn't been an issue so far. I don't foresee it becoming an issue if he continues on this path. And I'm not saying to completely block out the negatives, just to be like, this guy, he has problems, I don't care. You let the positives outweigh the negatives. If there are a bunch of positives with a player, and the negatives aren't like, you know, a quarterback that can't see the field, or an edge rusher with 2 torn ACLs or some shit. If it's something simple, like Roger Rosengarten, I hated his anchor. I didn't think he had a good anchor. He's just an incredible quick tactician, a technician, whatever word you want to use. He is incredibly good at just keeping guys in front of him. Will he get beat by bull rushes from time to time? Sure. But you can't bull rush the guy every play because the Ravens will find ways to scheme around that. He's still going to keep you on your toes. That's more what I'm talking about, is you can't get hung up on the negatives. You have to acknowledge them and take them into consideration, but that can't be like the primary thing you're looking at, especially with players that have potential in other areas. But I mean, if a guy sucks, a guy sucks. That's also different. But
True.
Yeah, Texans, I don't know. They probably will not beat the Chiefs. But defense looks good. Offense, I don't think is good enough to beat the Chiefs. Keep up at least. So
the reason they could is because of Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter. Especially because the Chiefs' biggest weakness is their tackles.
Let me ask you this. Like, I definitely see where you're coming from, but to that point, let me ask you this. Who do you trust more? Spags to cook the fuck out of Bobby Slowick, or D'Amico to cook the fuck out of Bruce, or out of, I almost said Bruce Arians, wrong fat guy, out of Andy Reid?
See, it's not about trusting D'Amico. I just genuinely think Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter are going to win more than 70% of the time. Off the edge.
Well,
the Chiefs tackles are two of the worst in the league, and Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter are the best edge rusher duo in football, undoubtedly.
I don't disagree with that.
I'm almost positive that Tooney is playing left tackle still, and he's been very good at it.
Which makes things very difficult for one side.
And two, I trust Mahomes to get the ball out quick.
That's the other thing too. Like
with Kelce, they're just gonna dink. If they have to, if Mahomes is pressured every 5 seconds, he's just gonna dink and dunk to Kelce for.
And I think they're gonna have to dink and dunk because I don't really trust. This isn't an Andy Reid shot or a Mahomes shot. I just don't trust the Chiefs receivers to beat the secondary in Houston. So it is going to be Travis Kelce. Is Noah Gray the other tight end still?
Yeah.
Those two are probably going to eat because I don't love Houston linebackers.
Okay, so the Chiefs have their answer. You dink and dunk. And then Houston has to deal with Spags dialing up the most exotic blitzes you'll ever see with a horrible offensive line.
See, CJ Stroud and Nico just need to go insane, and then maybe I'm saying there's a chance. I'm not saying it's a good chance. Also, I don't trust a team who has rested their players for 3 weeks. That has never worked in the history of football.
Yeah, well, personally, I think Mahomes and Andy Reid are in the Belichick-Brady tier, where until I literally see them
we've watched Belichick and Brady rest for 2 weeks and then get blown out immediately because doing that is stupid. And they've been rested for 3 weeks. Mahomes hasn't played this year.
I'm just saying we both have our things we stick with, and mine just happens to be, like I said, there's just.
I don't want to discount the Chiefs. I just think there's a real shot that this, and I'm not saying it's like a 50-50 shot, but it's not this 1 in a million that the Texans could win this. I think there's a real shot the Chiefs could lose this game. Again, not like it's 50-50, but.
Here's the difference. How many snaps do you think the Texans give to fullbacks in a game?
I thought you didn't think Carson Steele was a fullback.
He is, but he shouldn't represent fullbacks.
I feel like that's a cop-out, and I don't respect it.
Okay. Well, he's listed as a fullback. He plays fullback. He's just not used like most fullbacks are today and isn't nearly as good. Just because he's a mediocre fullback doesn't mean he isn't a fullback.
See, but you're saying he shouldn't represent fullbacks. Therefore, he's not a fullback.
No, I wouldn't want Adam Prentice repping the NFC, but Adam Prentice is good. He's a fullback, but I wouldn't want him over Juszczyk or Ham. It's the same thing. Dude, I mean, literally, the AFC fullback was the guy who was named first team All-Pro for a reason.
Yeah.
My point was never Carson Steele isn't a fullback, therefore he shouldn't get in. It was he's mid, and Pat Ricard is having one of the better fullback seasons we've seen as of late.
All right, I think we've talked about this game long enough. We should move on.
I mean, we didn't really talk much about this game.
Well, we talked enough about people involved.
Needed to be said.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much. We got distracted with Herbo.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ravens 28, Steelers 14. Yeah.
Dude, what the fuck do the Steelers do? No, not at all.
What do they do? They're signing Sam Darnold.
Quarterback.
I promise you it's Sam Darnold.
Which is so sad. They're so screwed.
No. It will not be Sam Darnold. It will get their boy back from Tennessee. That's who they will do. That's what they will do.
Their boy?
Mason Rudolph? Okay, so they're screwed.
Yeah, that's actually worse.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no reality where they're not.
Right, that's my point. Like they're
there's no
fucked.
solution to this.
Right. That was my point.
They are. I don't know.
They died.
No, the solution. Right
there. Do you give a contract to Fields who got benched for the husk of Russell Wilson? Do you give a contract to Russell Wilson who ran the most one Jesus Christ, who ran the most one-dimensional offense in football? Do you go for Sam Darnold, who sucks now, is never been good without has never been good without KOC.
Sure.
We'll put it that way. Do you go for Mason Rudolph? Teddy Bridgewater, fresh out of coaching high school?
See, but he's going to go back to coaching high school. He's only going to show up again next year for the playoffs if he shows up at all.
Okay, well then
I think
take
he's
him
just
off the list.
I think he's genuinely just the Lions like playoff backup quarterback at this point.
Yeah. I don't know how the Steelers are thinking, but if I'm looking at Sam Darnold myself, Sam Darnold stinks. He sucks. Like he will go to a team with a worse offensive line, which is bad because all he knows how to do is take sacks.
I think the Steelers' offensive line might be better than ours. I can't lie.
I think at best they're equal. I don't think they're better.
Sure. I think fully healthy our O-line's better, but like our interior is so bad and they have an interior, so that might be okay.
And a receiver cast that doesn't even sniff Minnesota's.
True.
A tight end that doesn't sniff Minnesota's. True. A coach that, at least as an offensive mind, doesn't sniff Minnesota. There's no world where signing Sam Darnold works out for them. It's there's absolutely no world.
Do you want to hear their other options at quarterback and free agency? So Sam Darnold, as we said, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Jacoby Brissett, Taylor Heineke, Marcus Mariota, Drew Lock, Jarrett Stidham, Andy Dalton, keeping Justin Fields, Joe Flacco, Jameis Winston, very on brand for Pittsburgh, Mac Jones, Carson Wentz, Jimmy Garoppolo, Case Keenum, Mason Rudolph, Easton Stick, Cooper Rush, Joshua Dobbs, Brandon Allen, Nick Mullins, Kyle Trask, Josh Johnson, Kyle Allen. We already established Bridgewater probably won't be back. Keeping Russ, CJ Beathard, Snoop Huntley, Tim Boyle, Brett Rippon, Jeff Driscoll, Shane Buechele, I don't fucking know how to say this guy's name, Desmond Ridder, Bailey Zappi, Felipe Franks, Sam Ellinger, or Tommy DeVito.
Now let me just say, only one quarterback on that list holds the record for the third most efficient game.
That's not a record. That by every definition, that's not a record. Being third at something means you're not a record holder.
Only one quarterback on that list has the third most efficient game in NFL history. All I'm saying.
Only two quarterbacks on that list have only three quarterbacks on that list have ever been good for more than 4 games. Weirdly, they all played for the Vikings.
I don't really care about the Steelers quarterback situation. I care about Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry being crazy.
I just wanted to ask, because they're out, we got to kind of talk about what they're doing in the future.
They're going to go a veteran QB because they can't draft a guy. The last time they tried, they'll just end up with a Kenny Pickett level quarterback. So they're going to draft
Quinn Ewers.
No, they're gonna sign a guy.
To decide who the future is between Russ and Justin Fields, Mike Tomlin's gonna do the King Solomon thing. He's gonna take a football and be like, "Listen, I'm gonna tear this football in half unless one of you decides to give it to the other one." And then Russ will be like, "Oh no, give it to Justin." And so Justin Fields will be their starter next year. That's what I think will happen.
No, they're gonna sign somebody new, and I am positive that they're going to. I don't think they're going to give the biggest offer to Sam Darnold. I think that is going to be the Giants. I really do.
What if they trade for Cook?
What did you say?
I don't think they want to pay him.
I said, what if they trade for Kirk?
I heard Cook, and I was like, they could just draft Brady Cook. Why
oh, no, they're going to go get Dalvin.
Yeah. Put the band back together. Get Case Keenum. Go sign Stephon Diggs. Go trade for Adam Thielen. Put the band back together.
Listen, man, somebody got to take Kirk. He ain't going to be a Falcon. Somebody got to take him.
Kirk or Derek Carr.
Derek Carr's going to be a Saint.
No. Spencer Rattler.
Maybe this new rumor that Hendon Hooker's available in Detroit.
Oh my God.
No, Hendon Hooker's going to be the Raiders quarterback with
Ben
Johnson.
Should trade for? They should trade for?
Listen, real quick, just to make a point on that, if Ben Johnson decides to go to the Raiders and then trades for Hendon Hooker to be his quarterback, and he's like, "This is my spot," maybe we should all question why Ben Johnson didn't come out sooner, because clearly he's not capable of making good decisions as a
I
coach.
can still understand the going to the Raiders thing. Like, I really
no
can.
quarterback.
I know you can't, because you think quarterback
I'm
is
fully biased, but
yes. And I'm fully confident in the reason he wouldn't want to go to the Bears is ownership. And now you get to, who's the one in charge in Vegas? Right? I almost said Oakland again. Who's the one in charge
Mark
in Vegas
Davis.
right now?
Mark Davis.
No. Who's the one making every single decision?
Brady
it's
has
Brady.
like what, 5% of
Don't
the
care.
ownership?
Mark Davis came out last year after signing Pierce and Telesco and said he genuinely could not afford to not keep them around, and then fired them anyways. Brady is making every decision and has all the power. You can tell by the moves they're making, because Davis would not have moved on from Telesco, who just had the only good draft in the history of Mark Davis owning this team. He would not have moved on
Okay.
from that.
Listen, I'm not trying to like start a big argument here, but here's my genuine thoughts on this, right? Like, bias aside, the only reason why I don't, or the big reasons why, okay, listen, this isn't just for Ben Johnson. This is for any head coaching candidate. I don't think the Raiders should be a super attractive destination unless you have full assurance that Mark Davis has no hand in coaching or anything because of the way they've treated their past couple coaches. Granted, they haven't been great hires, but the way their leashes have been shorter than my pinky nail would scare me. But
Well,
again, I mean, if you can get the assurance from Brady that that's not going to be the thing.
How long was
They've
Josh
had 4
McDaniels
straight-
there?
They've had 4 straight one-year coaches.
Yeah. Well, Gruden did that to himself. That was not the Raiders giving him a short leash. McDaniels had more than 1 year. Like,
Las Vegas Raiders coach history.
yeah.
So, Antonio Pierce for 1 year, McDaniels for 1 year, Bisaccia for 1 year. Oh, I'm sorry, they each had 2 years. So, Pierce and McDaniels got 2 years. Bisaccia got 1 year. Gruden got 4.
Well, Bisaccia got half a year.
No,
he was an
coached
interim. No, he was only an interim.
2/3 of a year.
Yeah.
He coached 12 games.
Yeah. So, like, the Gruden thing was bad. Josh McDaniels got over a year and then got fired.
Yeah.
And then Pierce had half a year and then a year. Like, I don't know. I don't think that's really the hand of Mark Davis. That's the hand of shitty coaching, especially since we all agreed in week 1 that Pierce shouldn't be an NFL head coach. You can't go, this guy doesn't deserve to be a head coach, and then go, well, nobody should want to go there because they fired this guy who's like the worst coach in football.
Okay.
You got to pick a lane at some point.
Well, I mean, I can't say that they keep hiring bad coach after bad coach after bad coach after bad coach after bad coach. They can't make good decisions. So I don't see why, as a head coach, you would see that as an attractive destination when every coach that goes there fails. Additionally, you look at the roster, there's no quarterback. That's a huge thing. They're not in position to get a top quarterback this year because at least to my understanding, because apparently there isn't a top quarterback this year.
Right.
That terrifies me. If my best option is trading for Hendon Hooker,
I don't feel like that's
I
the
would
best
not sleep
option.
at night. That's what I'm saying. I would not sleep at night. That would terrify
Can't just
me.
let Joe Milton rot away in New England, man. Gotta get that.
He
that trade.
knows.
Okay. If my best
just
option
let-
is Joe Milton, I'm
just let Joe
applying at
Milton run
Radio
away.
Shack.
But no, like, yeah, but you're ignoring the things that the Raiders do have. They have a really good young offensive line. You need like a piece, maybe.
Okay.
They have good pass catchers. Jacoby Myers can play the exact same role as Amon. Like, I'm looking at this specifically from a Ben Johnson point of view, not for anybody
I don't
else.
think he would be Amon-Ra. I think Brock Bowers would be Amon-Ra.
Sure. I don't know if I agree to that, but fine. But
Well,
Brock
Bowers
Bowers,
is just a
Michael
better
Mayer,
player.
Jacoby Myers, sure. But I'm talking about the roles that they can take. Jacoby Myers can do the
Right,
whole.
but my
That's
point
what
is
Jacoby
Amon-Ra.
Myers does best.
Well, I'm just saying, no, the way I'm looking at it, like, I don't disagree that Jacoby Myers absolutely could. I'm not saying, like, Myers sucks or something. I'm saying, like, to me, Amon-Ra gets more attention in Detroit. I feel like that's who they want to run their passing game through. I feel like you'd want Bowers in that position. Unless you're going to rework the offense and make the Laporta role more what you work through, which I guess is possible.
I was going to say,
I'm
maybe you
looking
just
at it
make
as-
the better. Like, they built their offense around the weapons they have. So they're making.
Sure.
The most important one is their best one. And Amon-Ra is the best weapon in Detroit. There's no ifs, best receiving weapon in Detroit.
Tim Patrick.
I still stand by what I said. I love Tim Patrick, but like if Ben Johnson's the coach everybody claims he is, then you'd have to change it up to build around the skill set of your best offensive player. But like they're in a spot they can get a really good running game. They don't have one currently. They can find running backs. Ben Johnson has proven this so far. So you get a couple running backs. You need to find a real X receiver, sure. And defensively, they have some good pieces, like really good pieces. Like I get they don't have a quarterback, but Ben Johnson could work with a guy like Sam Darnold is talent-wise the exact same guy Jared Goff is. Probably better if we're honest, talent-wise. Yes, he crumbled in those 2 big games. For sure, 100%. Some of that can be attributed to the offensive line. What do the Raiders have that like is actually a good piece? Their offensive line is good. Like, I think there's a lot to like there that isn't, and you can't just go, well, no quarterback, because you're ignoring the good for the team to just point out the flaw.
No, that's not the case at all. I'm just saying their flaw is the biggest flaw you can have.
Sure, for sure.
I'm not saying, I absolutely agree that the Raiders have a fine support, or fine is being kind of disrespectful. Yeah. They have a good supporting cast. I don't deny that at all. Defense is very talented. I'm very high on, even a guy like Tyree Wilson, who was viewed as a bust a year ago, has been incredible this year relative to expectations. Like, they have some really good pieces. I'm just saying, when you don't have the piece de resistance, the main piece you need for the team, and you're looking at the options as Sam Darnold, who just shit the bed in big games, or Hendon Hooker, who hasn't played an NFL snap yet, so, like, that scares me.
Jared Goff, before getting Ben Johnson, had only ever shit the bed in big games. Only shit the bed in big games. Like, this is a fact of life. And then you have to look at, I think, the bigger thing where, yes, Caleb is the best option you could get to, like, go to a team and have a quarterback, right? Unless, obviously, the Kansas City job opened. But we're talking about the situation right now. Or even Jacksonville, where you have Trevor Lawrence. But the nice thing, and what Ben Johnson has talked about, well, that we've heard the reports that he's talked about, obviously, who knows what the fuck is true, but like he has said he wants to go to a place where he can build it his way. That the only place that's accurate like that is the Raiders. Sure, the Jets have a GM and head coach opening, but Woody Johnson is not letting anybody build anything their way ever, so they don't count.
I will say it has been reported that, I can't remember the owner of the Jaguars, but he said he'd fire what's-his-nuts if he got a shot at Ben Johnson.
Oh, that'd be W.
I will say, like, I think that's a way more attractive job than the Raiders.
I don't, because they have they have 3 NFL players on that roster. The O-line is bad.
The quarterback,
the running back is bad. They have a receiver, and then the defense is all bad except for one dude. Yeah, you have the quarterback, and they've had the quarterback for 5 years. It's done them a whole lot of good.
But they were stuck with a lame duck general manager they'd be getting rid of in this scenario. Ben Johnson would be bringing in a guy he likes. He has his quarterback in place, doesn't have to worry about the most important position. He just has to work with the GM to build around that quarterback. And this is just my personal opinion, the way I view positions. I think it's a hell of a lot easier to build around a quarterback than it is to pluck a quarterback into an already good situation, because it's very rare that you're going to be in a position to get a quarterback worth putting into that situation when you have everything else built up. Like the Raiders with Ben Johnson next year with like a Hendon Hooker probably win 8 or 9 games.
Yeah.
They're not getting a top quarterback in the draft next year. They're missing out on Alar or whoever else comes out. They're not in position for a quarterback. So then you got to run it back with Hooker over and over, and you're stuck in this like 8,
so
9,
then you
9,
become the 49ers.
Right, and he doesn't want to do that. He wants to win championships. I think, honestly...
Well, you're not doing that unless you get the Chiefs job, basically, at this point. So, like, who cares?
He wants the illusion of winning championships. He wants to win... Plus, that's the other thing. If he wants to win, why would he go to the AFC West?
No, I think that proves a point. He's not afraid of anything.
I see that, but I also just think
But
that's
also,
a really dumb decision.
Do you
to make
really
as a
want to go to the
first-time head
NFC
coach.
North by going to the worst team in the North?
You'd be going to the worst team in the West.
For sure.
Yeah, okay.
Which division was better this year?
Worst team in the North with a quarterback. Worst team in the West without a quarterback. I think the worst team in the North is more appealing. And I mean no disrespect to any of your coaches. KOC is great. He knows he knows Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
We don't think Dan Campbell is that great as a podcast, I don't believe. I'm sure Ben Johnson thinks he can at least be better than Dan Campbell. Then it comes down to you, KOC, and LaFleur. If you're looking at Caleb, you are in your mind, and I'm not saying this is true, I'm just saying in your mind, you're saying, I have the best quarterback in this division now that he's in my offense, now that I'm working with him. Again, I want to make it clear, I'm not saying Caleb is QB1 in the NFC North right now. I'm saying in this role, Ben Johnson, that's how he'd view it.
Right.
So he's saying, I'm
who
just
knows
as
how
good
it
as
ends
an
up,
offense.
because the entire quarterback thing is a question in the North right now.
Right, exactly. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
But hypothetically, right? Yeah. So then you're looking at these two other offensive minds with young quarterbacks. You have your own young quarterback. You're saying to yourself, okay, I think I can out-coach and my quarterback can out-quarterback these two guys that are young and going to be good. Rather than going to the West and you have to worry about Justin Herbert. You have to worry about that Patrick Mahomes guy. I don't mean any disrespect to Ben Johnson, but I don't see how anyone can walk into a situation and go, yeah, I think I can comfortably out-coach Andy Reid and out-quarterback Patrick Mahomes twice a year.
Number one, you're rooting for Andy Reid's got, what, a year left? I don't know. If they complete this three-peat, Andy Reid might retire.
Even Mahomes is still there.
Sure. With Matt Nagy as his head coach, man.
It's not going to be Nagy. It's not going to be Nagy.
I don't know. By the time we get there, all the good coaches are gonna fill up.
It'll be Jason Kelce.
It'll be Jason Kelce, sure. Anyway, Steelers and the Ravens. Please God. Let's.
Sorry, we got distracted talking about more important things. What is there to say?
Yeah.
Steelers suck and didn't deserve to be here. Lamar and Derrick Henry are great and deserve to be here.
Yeah. Nnamdi Madubuike, 2 sacks. My goat.
Russell Wilson had a Russell Wilson loss stat line.
Yeah.
The box score said he was awesome. Just don't look at the actual score.
The other big thing, Roger Rosengarten, since I brought him up earlier, had TJ Watt locked up in Guantanamo Bay. He did nothing at all, which was awesome.
I shouldn't say this. The internet will call me stupid. But I have never been the biggest TJ Watt guy, because genuinely when you watch Steelers games, he makes 2 plays, and then the rest of the game does nothing. No pressure. He just stands there. Like, all the time.
I will say his pressure numbers are usually pretty underwhelming.
Always. Like, the Myles Garrett TJ Watt debate never made sense to me. Myles Garrett is the best defender
TJ Watt
in football.
is very, very good.
Yes,
but
I'm not saying
Myles
he's bad,
Garrett is the clear number one.
And
I'm just
honestly,
saying,
he's a top 3 edge. I don't know if he ever has been. I know he had the sack number here, but that doesn't. I don't know.
I was gonna say,
I don't really know if I can get behind slandering a guy who's had 15 plus sacks in 2 out of the last 4 seasons, dude.
Sack merchant.
I mean, he like.
I'm just
he had
saying,
15 sacks, but 22 pressures. Like,
I'm just saying, I think Myles Garrett is better. Like, yeah. I don't like the debate between the two of them.
Myles Garrett's better. I think Michael Parsons is better.
Player on the planet. So
second.
Sure. Yeah.
Who do you think is the best?
I will die on the Fred Warner hill.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I will die on the hill.
Bills 31, Broncos 7.
Ty Johnson.
I have nothing to say here, dude. Broncos had life for 1 drive, and that was it.
Yeah.
The Sean Payton playoff experience.
I know I've been bringing him up every week, but like, did you guys see that Ty Johnson catch?
Bro is obsessed.
I'm sorry someone from my hometown is doing good, and I think that's cool, and I like to bring it up. I know no one is from Wyoming.
That's not true. Logan Wilson.
Where's
He's
he at?
better than Pat Johnson,
Well,
respectively.
this is true.
Well, I mean, I would hope he's better than the Bills' second running back. He's a starting linebacker.
Exactly.
I would
He's
hope
more
so.
relevant than Ty Johnson, who's
Who's
from
in
your
the
hometown.
playoffs?
All right, man. We're not doing wins are a
Logan Wilson- I think
linebacker
if-
and backup
I think
running
if
back
Logan
stat.
Wilson, I think if Logan Wilson had been healthy all year, the Bengals might have made the playoffs.
Genuinely.
I mean,
That-
maybe, but he didn't. We're not. So Logan Wilson, the new if man.
Yes.
People are
If man.
People are asking.
the catch was good, but the play
The
by
throw
Allen,
was
the
unreal. The
even
throw
better.
was the highlight
Throw
of the
was
play,
way
but like,
better.
yeah.
If Ty Johnson had dropped that, never to be seen again, probably.
Yeah, if Ty
Probably.
Johnson had dropped that, I think my hometown would be wiped
never
off
to
the
be
map.
seen again. Yep. Yeah. I don't
This
know,
game went
dude,
exactly as I expected it to.
I was wandering around the Atlanta airport for most of this game, so I can't admit to watching most of it. But I was watching when the first Broncos drive happened, and it looked like they were gonna be competitive, and then they just weren't. So
I thought the Broncos defense would put up more of a fight, but alas, Josh Allen.
yeah,
so
they got flamed.
The big thing, because remember, it was 10-7 at halftime. The
Yeah.
Broncos defense did put up a fight. This
It
is
should have been
another
10-10 at halftime,
situation.
too.
True. This is another situation where bad offense makes good defense not matter. It's happened 2 weeks in a row for the Vikings. It happened for the Broncos. Bad offense makes good defense irrelevant because eventually the defense gets tired and the offense will win.
Oh, yeah,
That's it.
Sure.
Denver's defense did put up a great fight. And if their offense had existed for more than a drive, then we'd be probably having a different conversation.
Yeah,
But
the Broncos.
I don't even want to
really
put this
need
on
to-
Bo Nix. I'm going to put this on Sean Payton.
I'm putting it more on the run game. I don't trust any of their running
They
backs.
can't run
They
the
couldn't
ball,
get
dude.
anything going on the
They
ground.
suck.
I feel
They're
like
all
that's a shot. They ran the ball. What?
But not effectively.
No, I'm saying they had 13 handoffs all game. That's it. That's Sean Payton. Design something. Call a run play one time.
But also, I mean, their running backs couldn't get anything going against one of the worst run defenses in the playoffs currently.
I mean,
Maybe the worst run defense in the AFC.
every
South.
running back was 4 yards a carry. Maybe you just keep giving it to them. That is NFL
Yeah, but at
good.
a certain
Not really
Yeah,
how
but-
it works down by as much as they were in the second half.
right.
Run the ball in the first half a little bit, and then maybe you don't get down by so much.
They probably did, and it was 10-7 at the half.
And then they
Yeah.
stopped
Talk about
running
first
it at
half
all.
bullshit.
And then
And because they started to fall behind in the second
When
They
you're
half.
down-
stopped running it.
First half,
They
close
stopped
game,
running
run
it because
ball.
the offense wasn't
Second
scoring. They were
half,
getting opportunities
offense
and they
wasn't
weren't going
scoring.
anywhere. So they wanted to lean on the guy that they've trusted all year that has played very well for them. And once they went away from the run game, it just stopped working. And at the end of the day, they were outclassed by a far superior opponent. And also, the Bills' defense is a lot better than two people on this podcast want to give it credit for. The Bills' defense came to play just as much as the Broncos' defense did.
I
What I said about
cannot
the run
wait
defense
for this
is that
conversation
defense
next
is
week.
back. They cannot stop the
Listen,
run.
if they get blown out by the Ravens, so fucking be it, dude. Like, they're the Ravens. They've got the MVP and the second best running back in football and
Yeah,
an
bro.
explosive
Like, I'm
pass
not-
game and an offensive coordinator that's probably going to go be a head coach next year. If the Bills' defense gets the fuck beat out of them by the Ravens, sure, that happens.
Listen,
High-powered offenses win sometimes.
I didn't say anything about their pass defense. They objectively cannot stop the run.
Yeah.
They just can't.
Right,
That's just been their
exactly.
thing all year.
I mean,
which
we
is
saw
what I
that earlier
said.
this year.
Right, that's
They
what I'm
can't
saying.
stop
Is
the
they
run,
can't
which
stop
is
the
what
run.
I said. I didn't say the defense is bad. I said they cannot stop the run.
Well, okay,
Which is
fair.
objectively true.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm just hung up on being the only
Derrick
one who
Henry,
thought the
what,
Bills were a
had
good
almost
football team.
200 yards. I mean,
Yeah, he had the longest run of his career against the Bills earlier this year. I made a whole
Precisely.
video. I literally made
first play of
an
the
entire
game.
video on my YouTube channel about
Yeah.
Derrick Henry Pat Ricard blocking
And I don't
for
know.
Derrick Henry against the
The
Bills.
Bills didn't want to tackle him when it was 70 degrees. I promise they're not going to want to tackle him when it's negative
No,
5.
I don't think the Bills are going to win this week. Like I'll tell you that up front. I think the Ravens are going to beat them, but I do think the Bills have played What are you?
Okay. I saw a name trending and got confused.
Oh, I thought you were like they don't play, and we were gonna have a weird
No,
argument.
no. I saw Kubiak trending, and I was like, my
Because
brain went to Gary, and I'm like,
Clint's
he
interviewing in
retired like
Seattle.
10 years ago. What are we doing? But yeah,
God.
Clint is, and only as an OC, so meh.
Yeah. But yeah, like my point with that, I that's fair. I just got hung up on you guys early in the year being like the Bills aren't a playoff team, they suck, and me being the only one that was like,
Well, that wasn't exactly it either. I said they're gonna win some games. The actual thing you should like laugh at me for was thinking the Dolphins and the Jets were gonna be good at football.
I mean,
Because I said I
can't
think
though,
the
'cause
Bills
I
were gonna
thought they
win
were
10
be
and
fine too.
I thought the Bills were gonna go like 10-7 and just miss the playoffs because the Jets and Dolphins were better.
Well, either way, they made it. Let's put it at this: they made it further
Yeah,
than some of us would have thought.
true.
I'm not even trying to victory lap. I just like giving the Bills credit. I like them this year. I've been a big fan of watching them this year. They've been
Sure.
exciting football, and I'm happy to see them play. Even though this is probably the last big game they'll get because
Yeah.
Lamar is coming to town. I will say, I do think there's a world where the Bills could win, where you get like a
Sure.
shootout and Josh Allen just has the ball last. But I think realistically, if I was a bet man, I'd put money on Baltimore.
I was gonna say, even in a shootout, I just trust Baltimore more.
I'm just saying, if in a shootout Josh Allen got the ball last, I think he
Sure.
would be able to go down and score.
He just has
You know,
to
if we get
leave
into the-
more than or less than 13 seconds on the clock.
Right. Yeah. I'm saying, like,
But yeah, I get
it's
you. I
a
get you.
favorable matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
go talk about your team, Jakey boy.
Yeah. So Eagles 22, Packers 10. Well, I want to start off a couple of things. First of all, I want to say I said this on Twitter. Love the defense in this game. Thought they were really good. I think that it could have been a lot worse. Being down 10-0 after Jordan Love turned the ball over twice in the first half, you got to credit Jeff Halfley just for being ready. For Hurts being ready for their offense. Jalen Hurts, what he did against the Packers is not gonna fly for the rest of the
No.
playoffs.
No.
If he holds the ball like he did against the Packers, against the Rams. Not to say that the Rams will get 9 sacks with it on Darnold, but that front four is scary. So he was way too indecisive. He was double clutching. You have Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, dude, two bona fide proven winners on the outside, and he just couldn't let the ball go. And I don't know. I credit the Packers pass rush. They had a good game. They made him uncomfortable, but again, like it just I don't. Yeah, but yeah, I love what I saw from the Packers defense. I think they're very young, have a lot of upside. Jeff Halfley, I think, is the guy at DC. So I think that I have a lot of reason to be optimistic about the Packers defense moving forward. I think a couple more pieces would be good, even, and you know, definitely got to figure out things at corner. Seems like Jair is out and is no longer going to be a Packer, which sucks, but also he's a bitch, so he can leave if he wants to. And I mean, dude, I hate having guys like him in a locker room.
Yeah.
I just do. Like, he's so whiny and annoying, and all he does is bring negative energy. And then Keyshawn Nixon came out and said he thinks he can be a CB1 in the NFL, and so the cornerback room's just a whole mess.
Yeah.
So it
what?
really.
Well, remember,
He
he's
said
the
that-
guy who said he
he
wasn't
said,
worried
and
about
I quote,
Jettas or Jordan
and I
Addison and
quote,
then got cooked an
he said,
entire
and
day,
I
too.
quote, I don't want to do the kick returning shit anymore. I want to be a CB1 in the NFL. So Keyshawn Nixon, I'm hoping he's not a Packer next year anymore either. I hope that both of them are off the team, so neither of them bring their energy back to the locker room. But yeah, so I really need to get some work done at corner. I believe Halfley is going to be able to find guys. Carrington Valentine's awesome. They have a guy young, who I think is going to be a great corner in the league. Xavier McKinney is, oh dude, I could go on for days about Xavier McKinney. Edge Cooper, obviously very good linebacker. Need to find a way to get Quay Walker off the field for good. That'll be good, to get him settled in a different city, hopefully. Yeah, offensively, yeah, they just lack a true one at receiver. They just need somebody who can go out there and win. They have a drop problem that'll get fixed with time. Hopefully, I'm hoping that as they get older, they stop dropping the ball so much. I think that will happen. I like Romeo Dobbs, but he was hurt this game. I like Christian Watson as a deep threat, but he was hurt this game. I like Dontavian Wicks. He was hurt this game. And so it came down to a 4th and 3. Malik Heath couldn't get his feet in bounds to keep the game alive. Whatever. Yeah, I love the Packers running back room. I think Josh Jacobs is really good. Emmanuel Wilson is really good. Chris Brooks had some moments this year. I didn't miss AJ Dillon for a second. That's all I'll say. I can't even believe he's still around.
What about Marshawn Lloyd? Do you miss Marshawn Lloyd yet? I don't think he
I
took
don't
a
think
snap.
he played a single snap in the NFL, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
And they don't need him.
Or not.
They don't need him.
Clearly, they don't need him, and even if they did, I don't think he would provide
That
much
brother
more than
is
Emmanuel
not that
Wilson
good.
did. No,
I mean, he's as good as
but
your RB1. Swift.
okay,
Marshawn Lloyd is
he's
not as good as
no,
Deontay.
They're the same guy.
No, Marshawn. No,
He
he's
is-
not. Okay, please stop.
Marshawn
Let me
Lloyd
just
is
check.
Mom. Can we get DeAndre Swift? We have DeAndre Swift at home.
Anyway, Jordan Love. I don't know, dude. My thoughts on him currently are, I have no reason in my mind to throw him away yet or to stop believing in him. I think that he is a good quarterback. I think he will continue to be a good quarterback. I think the thing with Jordan Love is that there just needs, I don't know what fixes this. It's probably just time, but he just needs to be consistent. That's it. Jordan Love can string together 6-7 games of being one of the best quarterbacks in football, and he has, and he did it this year, did it last year at the end of the season. Like, he can be like a top 10 quarterback in football at times, but it just, then he'll turn back into a pumpkin. And 2 of the interceptions were really bad. The third one shouldn't even count as one in the box score. I mean, it wasn't a pick, but that's just how it goes, you know. I think he's good. I think LaFleur is the coach to make sure that he will continue to be good. But yeah, just about consistency. You know, he's very Favre-esque. That's just kind of what he is. He's a lot more Favre than he is Rodgers currently. You know, and I don't know if that's a good or a bad
But
thing.
I think even the inconsistency is a Rodgers thing too. That was a thing with Aaron forever.
Yeah, he is a Packers quarterback.
Yep.
I mean, through and through. So that gives me hope because the last 2 guys that we had these conversations about are Hall of Famers. So
Hide Wisconsin welfare.
not to say, yeah,
Bro.
and one of them is a douche, and one of them
Hide
is
the
high on
welfare.
ayahuasca 90% of the time. Maybe more. But yeah, man, those are my thoughts. I'm not really too upset about this game. You know, 7 seed walking into Philly, best offense and one of the best offenses in football. Yeah. I wasn't expecting much, but I think holding them to only 22 is pretty good. Yes, Miller.
I have a couple questions, and I'm not being facetious. Like, some of these are genuine questions.
Sure.
Thoughts on Packers fans that want to fire LaFleur?
Morons. Yeah,
I
Listen-
think they're smart guys. Personally,
True, dude.
yeah.
for
you
sure.
would.
For
LaFleur,
sure.
I cannot listen. This team would not have gone to the playoffs without LaFleur these past 2 years. They just wouldn't have. If they did not have a guy like LaFleur calling the shots on offense, youngest team in the NFL with the drought problems they have and with just the straight up, you know, yeah, they would not have been to the playoffs either of these past 2 years. They would have crumbled. Even if they had like a mid-level head coach, like somebody who was like a head coach that would keep his job but nothing special, like no, they wouldn't have sniffed the playoffs. LaFleur, people just want to blame LaFleur for Love, and ultimately you got to blame Love, I think. I think LaFleur is doing everything he can for Love, and ultimately it just comes down to whether or not Love can execute. So if you think Matt LaFleur should be fired, you're either a Bears fan, a Vikings fan, a Lions fan, or you're a moron. So
Okay,
there's that.
second question.
Mhm.
Do you remember when Packers fans were comparing Keyshawn Nixon to Devin Hester after 1 year of him returning kicks?
I legitimately do not remember anybody saying that, but I
That was
I
a
don't,
real thing that happened.
I'm not really
saying
on
you,
Packers Twitter,
obviously.
to be honest.
Fair.
Was
I mean,
it
I
Packers
avoid
Twitter or was
Twitter.
Bears Twitter just making things
I
up
No,
again?
avoid-
it was Bears
avoid
Twitter
Packers
quote
Twitter at all
tweeting
costs.
people.
Okay.
It wasn't like Bears
Yeah.
Twitter being like, man, these guys are saying this. It was like literally quote tweeting people being like, spot the difference, and it was Keyshawn Nixon and
I
Devin
thought
Hester.
we
just
were
think it's really
just
funny that
kidding.
he turned out to be an egotistical douche.
That thing that some fan bases do, and it's not just Bears fans, but where they go. And I thought, this goes, but and it's like nobody has ever.
No, there
said
were
that.
real Packers fans
Or-
saying that because it was right around
I
Devin Hester
believe it.
Hall of Fame hype.
Ah,
I definitely
So they were
believe it.
trying to say like, our kick returner is just as good as Devin Hester. Bears fans think he belongs to the Hall of Fame. Like,
Keyshawn Nixon is a really good kick returner. He hates it apparently, but he's a really good kick returner when he does do it.
I mean,
not to say that he's Devin Hester, or that he.
This game might have hurt that reputation. I do fear.
true.
Well, everybody fumbles. That's just how it goes.
Yep, he got one important return opportunity and he fumbled it away. Actual question,
I wouldn't call the opening kickoff an important return opportunity. The game hadn't started yet.
I don't know.
Yeah,
ask
but, like, everything was
ask the
downhill
Bears
from
in that
there.
Super Bowl how important the opening kickoff was.
Yeah, anyway, what are your questions, Miller?
Okay, well, to be fair, the Bears quarterback in the Super Bowl is Rex Grossman.
No, I was saying that as a good thing, you moron.
Okay. Well, I thought you were saying because the Bears ended up losing.
No.
Also with you, I'm just
Rex
always on the
Grossman.
defensive.
Right.
Right.
Well, I mean, same when I talk to you. I understand this.
But genuine question. What do you do with Lucas Van Ness?
Into the sun.
I disagree.
I mean, honestly, like, I think you bring somebody else in to make him work harder. Probably, I would say with Lucas Van Ness, I don't think he can be like he's the guy right now.
No.
I'm saying like I would bring in somebody. I would like a veteran presence at edge rusher, to be honest.
I think the Packers just need
somebody who can
consistently
come in and
good edge rusher.
Vanessa can learn under. And so I'm thinking like a Jadeveon Clowney kind of thing. Somebody who Lucas Van Ness can work under and learn under. I'm not giving up on Lucas Van Ness yet. By far.
I wouldn't either.
I think he's super raw. I think he's got a lot of talent. He's very strong. If he can find a way to harness his strength into a positive consistently, and not just only use his strength and just maybe develop other areas of being an edge rusher, I think he's going to be good. He's a good tackler, good on special teams.
Right.
I'm not giving up on him for sure.
This is my thing with Van Ness, and I was a big Van Ness fan when he was coming out of Iowa. I loved the upside with the guy, and obviously he was kind of like a high risk player because of his lack of experience. But you know what? Iowa did a lot with him that I haven't seen the Packers do much, if at all, and you can happily correct me if I'm wrong.
Sure.
Played him inside. 6'5", 275 pounds. And when his primary strengths are defending the run, tackling, and moving people, I feel like that would be the best course of action.
Yeah,
is just to say, all right, he hasn't done anything on the outside, kick him inside, see what happens.
Yeah, I guess the question is, would he be better than Devontae Wyatt on the inside? Because you either got to be better than Devontae Wyatt, because Devontae Wyatt and Kenny Clark are the two inside guys. So if you think that Lucas Van Ness will be better than Devontae Wyatt interior, then kick him inside. Yeah, I honestly don't know if he would be or not. I think Devontae Wyatt's actually kind of been awesome. So I don't know.
And I'm not even saying as like a starter. I'm saying try him there as like your third D tackle, because it's.
I mean, I don't hate that.
Again,
either.
I don't know how Hafley runs his defense offhand, but I'm saying like a lot of teams obviously now they rotate a lot of guys. And, having someone that can come in for Wyatt and be a nice change of pace guy. Plus, isn't Kenny Clark about 30 at this point?
Yeah, he's getting up there. He is on I think he's on a long-term deal.
Right. Like I'm saying, this could be a situation where you're talking about him working under a veteran. Kick inside, work under Kenny Clark, end up being
I worry about what the edge rusher situation would be if Van Ness does get kicked inside. I think that's also part of what the Packers worry about is who's going to take a spot on the edge.
But then you can justify drafting someone because Van Ness hasn't worked there yet. You kick him inside, then suddenly there's an opening, and you can say, well, Van Ness is an interior player now. We're drafting another edge. This isn't to replace Van Ness. This is to fill a void that's been left by using him elsewhere.
I would agree.
I think it makes it easier to justify using a high pick on an edge.
Also, I think that's justifiable even if you try to keep Van Ness there. The Packers do not have a single consistently good edge rusher on their roster.
The only thing with that is you're paying Rashawn Gary all that money. I think I'm not saying I disagree. I'm just saying when you're paying a guy that much money and you have someone on the opposite side who you invested high draft capital in, as a GM, it's hard to justify wanting to spend more high assets on a guy at that position when you already are
Yeah,
waiting for
But
return
it's
on
also your
investment on your
biggest
current
need.
assets.
Like, I don't care
No,
about waiting.
corner. Corner is
Corner.
way bigger than me.
Sure.
Jair is
Yeah,
gone.
that's fair.
Eric Stokes sucks. Keyshawn Nixon
Eric
is
Stokes is also gone. He's a free
and is
agent.
bad. Right. Eric
So-
Stokes is gone. Sucks. Keyshawn Nixon is
guess that's
delusional.
fair.
Jair is gone. Carrington Valentine is like 20.
But even if your corners are bad, you know what helps bad corners look good? A real pass rush. The thing the Packers
But
don't
you know
have.
what helps a bad pass rush look good? Real corners.
Not true. Because if your
I know.
pass rush can't get home, it doesn't matter. If you could have 7 Pat Surtains, mediocre receivers will get open eventually. That's how that works.
I'm just saying, though.
I believe in the development of Lucas Van Ness enough where I would invest in corner before I would in edge, I think.
Right, and I'm
Sure.
not necessarily saying that like Van Ness is a lost cause on the edge. I just think it's an interesting conversation to have. And I'm also not saying that the Packers don't need help at edge because they absolutely do.
They do.
I'm just
They
saying
do.
when you have all of that invested at the
Yeah.
position, it's really hard, especially when you're the
Yeah,
GM that made those moves. It's really hard to justify.
I mean, I
you know,
do
kinda
have like
because it's admitting you're wrong. You know,
You
and
have
a lot
to
of guys don't want to
eventually.
do that, but
I
they will
haven't
put that off
watched-
as long as they can.
Yeah, I haven't watched the edges of this class yet, or I don't know anything about them. My dream, and I don't think the Raiders are trading Max Crosby, but if he is on the market, I do think if there's ever a time the Packers are gonna like pursue like a huge trade target, I think it should be a guy like Max Crosby who would fill a legitimate need. I would pour assets into Max Crosby if I were
Fair.
the Packers. They won't, but
Dude.
they won't, and
Fair.
Gutekunst will not do it. But that's like my dream, like off-season move would be trading for Mad Max. and getting
Geek,
him
what
on
happened the
edge.
last time the Raiders traded an all-pro edge rusher?
This-
He had
this-
one decent season in Chicago and then was useless because of injuries
But he
and
still
age.
ended up in Chicago. Therefore,
I hope you
Fine.
get
You
stuck
know
with
what?
Crosby into huge contract and get
I
one
hope-
season out of him.
I hope Myles Garrett requests a trade out of Cleveland. We'll get him instead.
now you guys can have the white guy that might be racist. I want Myles Garrett.
Deal. Well, he would
yeah,
pair up with that other white guy that might be racist. Isn't that the whole conversation we had like way early in the season about Lucas Van Ness was somebody saying he might be racist and us going,
I don't remember.
I
think
remember
we
this
just assumed
conversation
that-
happening, but I
I
don't.
think we just assumed a Midwest college age white boy.
Yeah, well, I
There's a
mean,
good
that's
chance.
fair.
There's a good
And if
chance
Max
that's
Crosby
something-
shows up, then we know which way that's going.
Crosby's weird though, because Max Crosby is either like, listen. Here's the thing with
know.
Max Crosby, right? He's either racist or he's the polar opposite. If you get what I'm saying,
Yes.
I'm almost
and I don't mean that
90%.
as derogatory. I'm just saying like it's one or the other with him. Because
Did y'all
all I
see that
think back,
one video from this season though. Where
which one?
The one where he said the word.
Oh yeah, where he went like Raider Nation.
He pretty much said the word.
Yeah.
And about a guy at least about as close to it saying it. As
Oh
he
wait a
could.
minute. I think I just remembered something. That means he's on the racist side and not the other one. Yeah.
What did he
Trumpy.
do?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a Trump. But
I
yeah.
forgot
Anyway,
about that.
any other thoughts about Packers and Eagles before we move on to Commanders?
I think
Sorry, Blasting game buried Quay Walker, and hopefully his
This-
last game was a Packer. He
this
sent him
game
back.
Hopefully
showed
Packers.
that this game, as well as a couple others this weekend, really showed to me the difference between the AFC and the NFC. Because like a team like the Eagles is a god tier next level roster with a quarterback that is holding them back. And I hate saying that. I love Jalen Hurts. But this is the NFC way. I think the same thing about the Lions, currently about the Vikings. This is the NFC way. God tier rosters held back by QB play, where the AFC is kind of mediocre rosters, but god tier quarterback play.
Yeah.
It's tough. I know you got Caleb. You know what? I get to be excited too. JJ McCarthy
I was
incoming.
gonna say yeah, JJ.
I have
could be.
I have faith. And Jordan Love is both.
He's good.
He is either the god. Well, he's both because of the inconsistency. He can be the god tier guy, but he can also be bozo, and
yeah,
that's just the Packer way, man.
If Toyota really wants to make the most of their sponsorship with him, they would extend Toyotathon. If they really want
they
to
should make Toyotathon even more exclusive.
Make it only September.
No, only in July.
No, that's lame.
That would be really funny though.
Yeah, but
never be good again.
Sunday night, Washington 23, Tampa 20. Yeah. So this Jaden Daniels kid is pretty good, I guess.
I do fear.
They yeah, I mean he is, and I've said this about Jaden a million times, so I'm gonna keep this short. I'm really impressed, and this is impressive about Caleb too. I'm just impressed at how composed Jaden is in the late game situations. I mean, how many times has he done this year? Like the first Eagles game, second? Which one did they win? Second, maybe. The second Eagles game where he led that game-winning drive. This game, close game all the way through, just super composed. Terry McLaurin's really good. I like that a lot. Yeah, I don't know. Baker only threw the ball 18 times. And I don't know how I feel about that because he's really their only shot at winning that game. And
no,
Bucky
running the ball well.
I was gonna say I get what the Bucks were trying to. Now that I think about it, I get what the Bucks were trying to go for because they knew the Commanders can't keep pace on the ground, right?
No,
can't trust Austin Eckler, can't trust Brian Robinson as much as I hate to say it, can't trust Jeremy McNichols. You can't trust these guys. You can put the team on Bucky's back and he's going to perform. Had 4.5 yards a carry on 17 carries, had a receiving touchdown. Like Bucky played well. I get wanting to put the team on his back, but
I think the Bucks as a whole played well. I truly think this is weirdly one of those games that does come down to one play. The fumble. If that doesn't happen, the Buccaneers win this game.
That did fuck them hard.
Like, genuinely, this is one of those games that comes down to you can point to the moment that matters. And Baker brought that up himself. He said he's the reason they lost this game. And I don't like it, but he's right. Like, that moment is because outside of that, the offense played well, the defense played well. You did what you had to do. But one team made a mistake, and it was the Bucs. And that's what cost them. This was probably the best game of the weekend, like in its entirety. Yeah. So, like, as it should have been, I think these were the closest teams playing. I think the Monday night game could have also been this close if a certain quarterback had played football. We'll talk about him in a minute. Don't worry. I have a rant incoming. I will get to all of that in a moment.
But Jaden Daniels was really good. The Commanders, I don't know if they stack up to the Lions, and they probably don't, unfortunately. But
do they stack up? No. But
they can win with the power of friendship.
No, they can win with the power of Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin.
Exactly, their friendship.
True, I guess, fair enough.
Friendship with Terry McLaurin and Jaden Daniels. Thank you.
I would say, I don't know if I would go as far as to say that they had the advantage of quarterback, just because
I would.
Rookie.
I would. Listen, as someone who has not been as openly praising of Jaden Daniels all year just because of not liking the way the dialogue around the two quarterbacks are, nothing to actually do with Jaden, I will comfortably say that Jaden Daniels is a much better quarterback. The Jared Goff.
They have the better quarterback receiving duo for sure.
Yeah. Certainly.
We all remember the Amon-Ra Terry McLaurin debate that popped up a couple years back when Amon-Ra.
It's still around because people think Amon-Ra's top 5.
But yeah, Terry McLaurin is great.
We'll get into the actual
Okay, here's my question. And coordinators aside, who do you think has the head coach advantage in this game?
Washington. Dan Quinn has coached a team to the Super Bowl before.
I wanted to jump the gun and say Washington too, but he
has
seems to be thinking
won
about it too.
A Super Bowl as a coordinator, as the coordinator of the best defense ever one of the best defenses ever. I don't want to deal with that argument. We're not doing that today.
Right.
I think it's Quinn.
I think the Lions have the overall coaching advantage.
Yes.
The only thing that causes me to hesitate is I still want to see what Dan Campbell is going to be without Ben Johnson.
Sure.
I think like if I had to make an argument right now, I'll say Dan Quinn. But I do think there's a world where, like, I know
We
we
saw him
all say
without
like,
Ben Johnson. He was the play caller the first 2 years there.
yeah, but okay, let me rephrase. Without Ben Johnson, with a real football team. Because he didn't have that. Like,
Sure.
You know
Yeah,
it's
that's
bad when
fair.
I'm defending the Lions.
Yeah.
They didn't have a real football team. Dan Campbell
Well, I mean,
was
second
literally
year of Dan
coaching.
Campbell, they did. They went 9-8.
Kind of.
They went
Yeah,
9-8.
but that was still like, they were still like running on the power of friendship. That was not a deeply
just what they're
competitive
running on.
football team. Well, now they're running on the power of friendship and offensive masterclasses.
Yeah, I guess that's
through
fair.
schematics.
And
Yeah.
really
It used to
good
just be the power
offensive
of
talent.
friendship.
Like, their offensive
Right.
line's
I would
sick.
say-
Monty, Jameer.
I was
Even
gonna say,
Amon Ra.
I would say a big reason why I think the Lions are probably going to win this game is because a certain running back is returning
Yeah.
for the Lions.
The
and they
engine
will
of their
once again
offense
have a
is back,
duo.
which is terrifying.
Even without
They will
that,
once
dude,
again
Jameer's
have
so
their
good.
duo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
the
mean,
thing.
but now they got both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
The run game is going to be the difference in that game, methinks.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
But I
Um,
do think if there's a defense who could stop them, Jonathan Allen's back. They've still got Jerzon. They've still got Deron Payne. They've got the guys to try to stop the run. And even, as much as I hate to say it, even that old man can still do some work.
Back, but only when he's playing downhill.
Yeah,
Well,
Wagner.
I know. I
mean,
just said like that. I'm adding fuel to your
Yeah,
fire.
okay,
That's my
okay.
point.
Okay.
Like
Okay,
Bobby
Wagner-
Wagner is good at one thing, but he's really fucking good at that one thing.
And that's the
he's
thing
exactly-
that they need. So
He's exactly the veteran presence that defense needs.
yeah.
And Frankie Louver was really good too. So,
Yeah.
Love Frankie Louvu.
But yeah, last game Monday night, we all got to witness this game together live.
live
That
and in
was
living
the power
color.
of friendship.
That was the
Rams
power of
27,
depression.
Vikings 9. Notice 9, not even double digits.
Well, to be fair, it should have been double digits, but Sam Darnold threw behind the line of scrimmage on a 2-point conversion for some fucking reason. The ghost of Kirk Cousins was haunting Sam Darnold. I don't understand.
Wait. Raise your hand if your team has scored double-digit points in 2025. Oh man, sorry I had to get that one out.
You didn't have to, actually.
But no, I felt.
Hey,
it.
raise your hand if your starting quarterback hasn't, or if your young, under the age of 25 starting quarterback hasn't lost a game in 2025.
Hey.
Hey, if the JJ McCarthy argument from before still stands, he has lost a game in 2025.
He
No,
hasn't.
you
got 14
guys
wins,
actually
he's got
said that
3
argument
losses.
didn't stand.
Yeah, I
Therefore,
was
it
gonna
cannot
say,
stand
I'm
now.
keeping consistent with the
But I'm
logic I
changing
made
my
earlier.
mind
I-
because it
yeah,
fits my narrative.
I'm going with the logic that was used
I am
earlier.
changing my mind because it fits my narrative.
I was gonna say, if you didn't raise your hand, I was going to tell you to raise your hand. That was the whole point.
Yeah.
Wait.
No, oh yeah. Come on. Can we be done? Let's go. Hit me.
Malik Willis hasn't lost a game in 2025. He's under 25, so.
I mean,
He
wait,
had
no,
started a
he
game in
did
2025,
take
and therefore
snaps in
he
that
has
Bears
not
game, though.
lost. No, didn't start though. Didn't get credit for the loss.
That's fair.
Didn't start.
But
Nice.
I also said franchise quarterback. Is Malik Willis your franchise
That's
quarterback? We're
true.
throwing Jordan Love in the
you said-
youngster.
You said young quarterback.
That's
I did
young
not hear the word
franchise quarterback.
I don't know.
Oh,
None of this is important. So
You know,
Malik
this
Willis
wasn't
is the next
important. The
franchise
Vikings in the
quarterback of the
playoffs.
all right, man.
I'm sorry, that
hate
was
this
really
team.
mean. I just had to.
Yeah, I don't know why you're being a dick to me because I haven't been a dick to you all year, except for when you started. You attack
No,
the
it's just
Vikings and then I attack the Bears.
really
as
funny.
deserved.
It's just really funny seeing the Vikings.
Only
play now.
one
Like,
person goes in this podcast goes out of their way to tweet bad things about the Bears, and it's not me.
Okay, here I will explain myself very quickly for 2 reasons. Number one, I am unapologetically the biggest NFC North hater on this podcast. I hate this division. I will go out of my way to slander all non-Bears teams whenever I can. Number two, when I talk shit about the Vikings, it makes you angry and good content.
Fuck you. I don't
Well-
deserve this. I've had a
Yeah,
bad
Dodge
week.
your-
I've had a
Okay,
bad.
but you're
working.
I've had a bad couple months, man. You gotta
Listen,
stop. Attack
like-
the asshole whose team actually sucks.
Yeah, but like angry Jake isn't fun because he just goes, "All
Well,
right, man."
if we could get Jake to be angry, it would be.
That's the problem. We can't. I can
He
get a
just-
rise
he
out of
just
you, and then the
quits.
people get
You
entertainment.
can't.
Right.
Well, you can't tell me my team actually sucks when my team scored 10 points against
Hey,
a better
man.
defense.
How many interceptions did your quarterback throw?
How many losses to the Bears did your team have versus Geeks?
This is true. It's true.
I mean, listen, man. If you want to keep degrading your own team just to make fun of the Packers, by all means, dude.
I have to
Keep
degrade
saying
my.
the Bears are horrible. I love it. I love it.
Okay.
when
Can
just
so
openly
to
Rent
talk about
admit
this
how
game,
absolute
Rent
shit your
free.
team is.
to talk about this game,
Rent
can we
free.
stop?
That's a different conversation.
So to talk about this game, I think we should all start by talking about the Rams because I don't want it to sound like I'm not
Yes.
giving them credit where it's due.
Defense is
Incredible
good, they're
game
better than
plan.
The Vikings always were.
No.
Okay.
McVay's
No.
still the master.
So when it comes to playoff
Um,
football, because apparently I'm the only one taking this part serious, I took the Packers game serious, but Jake can never take Vikings game serious. I don't know why.
No, because they're not a serious franchise or football team. So,
All right.
All right,
I,
dude.
I think the ship has sailed. We can have football time now.
Jake doesn't believe
Everyone-
in football time.
Hold on.
Vikings are a
Hey, do
football
you have a
team now.
stick in your room?
What?
Do you have a stick in your room? We need a talking stick.
It's not going to
Apparently.
matter. He won't care about it anyways. But
You're
the
right.
thing with playoff football that has always been the thing and will always be the thing is the majority of the time, the team with the better quarterback wins the game. That was the case the entire weekend, outside of Rams, Texans. But in that game, the quarterback who played by far better was the guy who won. That's it. What?
Chargers Texans.
That's the game I brought up.
You said Rams Texans.
Oh, whatever.
It's okay. They're both in LA. They're
I
the
was
same
gonna say,
thing.
Same
shitty LA
city,
teams with the same
same team.
shitty color scheme. Fuck up. Same team. They almost tried to have a similar logo
Same
for no
shit,
reason.
different shapes.
Pretty much.
They'd probably win the Super Bowl if they combined, right?
Oh yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, I think so.
If they
I mean,
made the
I
best
think
LA
the
team
Rams might win
possible,
the Super Bowl
yeah,
anyways. So, but
you probably want them to.
no. I'm rooting for the Ravens. Though, if the Rams win, I did predict that they would in the
What I was
preseason, so I'll victory
No,
lap the fuck out of
I'm
that.
just saying, you could just be like, oh, well, I know we lost in the playoffs, but we lost to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I
champion,
don't
so.
do that kind of moral victory thing. My moral victory from this game is that Sam Darnold, there's no longer a question of whether we bring him back. You let him walk and you wish him the worst moving forward. What's up?
This ought to be good.
I'd like to see the Rams win because the city of LA deserves a win after the
This is
wildfires.
true.
And I think
Sure.
it would be
This is
really
true.
cool if that city got a big win.
Sure. Hopefully they don't have to be the Saints and cheat to do it though. Any shot I can take at the Saints, I'm going to. It was right there. I'm sorry.
This is fair.
I hate the Saints the same way you hate every team in the NFC North. The Saints have
covered
caused
up
me more.
Catholic priests touching children.
The Saints have also just caused me more heartache than any team in the NFC North has. So
Oh yeah, I guess I was gonna say how, but the playoff game.
Yeah.
I forgot.
But like the Rams played incredible. Their offensive line held up fairly well against the Vikings pass rush. The bigger key to that was Stafford knew how to get rid of a football.
Yeah.
I wish my
I gotta
quarterback
pull up
had
the
known how
numbers,
to do that.
dude. Dude, Stafford's numbers against the blitz were insane
Yeah.
in this game.
Because he understood that the check down existed, which is good for him. The Rams defense also, that young front, I'm just going to start with their
Unreal.
young front four is unreal. Like you could say front seven, I don't love their linebackers. So I'm going the front four because they're unreal. Jared Verse is the guy I want to give the most credit to because he bullied the fuck out of Brian O'Neill all day. That is a top 3 right tackle in football, and Jared Verse just bitched him all day.
Dude,
Like,
so there was a rep where I think it was Neville Gallimore ended up getting a sack. I can't remember. Someone got a sack on the opposite side of the play but Verse literally did the fucking most disrespectful thing I've ever seen to Brian O'Neill, where he's lined up out wide, and normally when you're lined up out wide, that means you're going to run full sprint at the tackle for a bull rush, right?
Yeah.
Jared Verse starts fucking like jogging towards Brian O'Neill, and then at the last minute slams his entire body into him, pulls back, has O'Neill by the chest, and throws him behind him with a swim move, and then swan dives on top of Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Who's already laying
He's the
on
best, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking the dirtiest thing I've ever seen. And not dirty in like Saints dirty. It's dirty as in like, bro, you can't do that. That's another grown man with a family.
It's not
You
even
made him look like a toddler.
It's not even the grown man thing. It is like inarguably one of the best right tackles in football. Like this isn't like if he did it to David Quessenberry, none of us care. But like
he did also bully David Quessenberry.
Yeah, but nobody cares if you bully David Quessenberry.
I know.
That's not.
It's just funny.
David Quessenberry is a family too.
Well, sure, but
not
like,
anymore.
well, yeah, they left.
They're gone.
I promise.
Gone.
No, but like the big thing for me with this game and the discourse that I am sick of seeing is Vikings fans trying to pin none of this on Sam Darnold and pin all of it. They're not even trying to pin it on the offensive line. They're trying to pin it on Kevin O'Connell.
What the fuck?
And this is why our conversation the other night was so important, because I have tried not to crash out, because the Purple Daily, which is like some Vikings podcast that exists all the time, there's one guy who goes on there that I think understands football, but he's not like a mainstay. He goes on like every Thursday or whatever. But they were having this conversation where, yeah, the big issue is Kevin O'Connell. Like, you got to draw up some easy stuff for Sam to get the ball out quick. And it's like, there was easy stuff every play. If Sam Darnold had just thrown the ball to the wide open guy immediately, I promise we win that game. I promise. Because there was a wide open player on every single play that Sam Darnold looked at before panicking and then taking a sack.
Yeah.
I am putting 80% of the blame on Sam Darnold. The other 20 goes to Blake Brendel, Dalton Reisner, and Garrett Bradbury, who I do not want to see. Brendel, you can stay around as a backup, mostly because you're already under contract. I don't want to see Garrett Bradbury or Dalton Reisner on my team ever again. Genuinely, Dalton Reisner, I went from being your biggest defender to your biggest hater. You have sucked. You're not good in the run game, which I knew. I was okay with this because you were so good against the pass rush. Except now you suck at that too. I don't understand. I get you moved from left guard to right guard. It should not have made that big of a difference. I could see it making a difference, but you went from one of the, 25 best guards in football to, I don't think you deserve to be on a roster. Like, actually, I started asking for us to put Ed Ingram back in the game because it genuinely would have been better. I'm not even joking. But I still don't want to give most of the blame to those three because Sam Darnold could have still dealt with it. Brett Coleman posted the thing. Sam Darnold was pressured 24 times, I think. 20-something times.
26.
Thank you. That's better for my argument because not every time, but I got to find the exact tweet. I don't want to get it wrong.
It was like 11 of them were
11
over
of them
3
were
seconds.
No, 11 were under 3 seconds.
Or yeah, I'm sorry.
It was
the bigger
15
number
were
was over 3 seconds.
He had time. Like, actually, Sam Darnold had time.
Oh, he had time.
No, I get they had 11. The Rams gave up 10 under 2.5 for Stafford. He just got the ball out, so it didn't fucking matter.
Hear Stafford's numbers against the blitz real
Yeah,
quick?
do that. I do.
Matt Stafford set a season high in completions and tied a season high in attempts against the blitz. He was blitzed on 69% of his total dropbacks, completing 14 of 18 attempts for 178 yards and 2 touchdowns, giving him a 144.7 passer rating, all according to Next Gen Stats.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
against a
man.
Brian Flores blitz. That's one of the
Yeah.
best passing performances we've seen in a playoff game in this century.
Yeah.
Point blank period. That's unreal.
It really does drive home part of the point. The Vikings need help in the secondary really bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stephon Gilmore is fine. He's not Gilly Lock anymore, but he's fine.
Yeah.
But I do think the big thing, I think you keep Byron Murphy. He's been awesome. I think getting Mekhi Blackman back is huge. You still need, to me, like your true number one corner. Whoever that's going to be, you still need that. I love Mekhi. I think he's going to be a great number two guy, but he's not. I don't think he's the guy. And Byron Murphy is great, but he should not be truly an outside corner. He hasn't been all year, and it's been his best year. He shouldn't be. Shaq Griffin and Gilmore were fine, but when you play a team like the Rams, fine isn't good enough anymore. And then, I don't know, Josh Metellus had a really bad game, which is weird, and I don't love. I think, though, the bigger issue than corner, because, like, if you just bring Gilly Lock back, I think you're fine. You got to find some interior. The interior, both offensively and defensively, needs fixed. Because there's just not enough push. I love Harrison Phillips. He should not be your best down defensive lineman at all. He also probably shouldn't be a straight-up nose tackle, but that's what he's stuck doing. I don't know. But, yeah, pinning this loss on Kevin O'Connell is a bit stupid. I don't think he was even kind of the problem. Sure, if you want to say run the ball more, but, like, they ran it 18 times, and Cam Akers, other than that one nice Cam Akers run, they weren't going anywhere because the interior of our O-line just got blown up, and Aaron Jones had nowhere to go. Cam Akers had one good run. I think Aaron Jones is... I think that over 30 thing hit for Aaron Jones. I really do. The last 7 weeks, he has not had the burst. You know, the only running back with any juice on our team for 7 weeks has been Cam Akers, and that sucks. Luckily, I guess, Aaron Jones isn't under contract anymore, so...
Yeah, dude, Cam Akers only 25, man.
Yeah, I think we keep Cam Akers. I do not think we should run into next year with Cam Akers like RB1 only option.
What's Dwayne McBride up to these days?
No.
Ty Chandler, baby.
No. Currently I'm hoping for Caleb Johnson, the Iowa guy.
It's Iowa, yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I would love Genty. There's no way he's falling into the 20s. It's just not possible. I think it's more likely that Genty goes first overall than he falls into the 20s. Not gonna lie.
Taking Genty first overall when you have Tajay Spears on your team is crazy.
I'd do it. I'd do it.
Free Tajay. Free Tajay.
Anyway,
regardless if they take Genty or not, free Tajay.
I guess did you guys pick the wild card? Are we picking
We did.
games anymore?
Yeah, hold on. Okay. Can I say a couple things about the Rams real quick?
Yeah, please.
Just because I made a whole video on this. I have so many thoughts about their front seven.
Yeah.
Dude, their defensive line is insane, not just because of like the top end talent, because we all know Kobe Turner, dog. Byron Young, dog.
Yeah.
Jared Verse, dog. Braden Fisk, very good. Neville Gallimore had a sack and a half in this game. Fucking Desmond Johnson had a sack in this game. Michael Hoyt had half a sack. They had 8 different guys record at least half a sack in this game. That's the most by any single team in playoff history since they started recording sacks in 82.
Yeah.
That's unreal. You also figure they pressured Sam Darnold on 52% of his dropbacks. That's awesome. And it was all stunts, all doing crazy shit. They're the first team in playoff history to have multiple corners get at least 1 sack in a game. Because Akella Witherspoon had the strip sack, and then Kobe Durant had the sack that me and you clocked immediately as like, holy fuck, that was the perfect call in that moment. Because he caught Darnold with his pants down. Darnold, as soon as he turned back around off of play action, Kobe Durant was staring him in the eye, and Darnold, like, Chris Shula is a mastermind.
Yeah.
This man is incredible. He has the spirit of his grandfather. I'm pretty sure he's Don Shula's grandson.
Sure.
However he's related. Don Shula is in this man. Pause. Like, he
What?
knows how to call an incredible defense. I love everything about what they're doing. And they're doing it with, like, guys that on other teams wouldn't be super successful. Kobe Durant, love him to death for what he's doing with the Rams. Probably not a top 2 corner on any other team. Here, he made crucial plays for the Rams.
Yeah.
And the big part about it, you already brought up, real quick, I just want to say, you brought up Sam Darnold already, how bad he played. It's insane how the key to making Sam Darnold play bad is to do the thing that his defensive coordinator has done to every other quarterback. It's like fucking NFL script writers were cooking so hard. The downfall of the Minnesota Vikings in 2024 or 2025 now was the thing that made their defense so special. The ability to get to the quarterback and make other quarterbacks uncomfortable was their kryptonite. It's literally like if Superman was running around with a fucking kryptonite gun. That's what the Vikings were this year. And this time, they shot themselves in the foot. Shula came in and took full advantage of Darnold. It was, I swear to God, I'm not just saying this to be like, fuck the Vikings. Like, genuinely looking at it just from the Rams perspective, wanting to watch good football, wanting to watch a defense really take over a football game. Stafford played great. He's not the reason they won. It was the defense. They didn't win because Darnold played bad either. They won because the defense scared the fuck out of Darnold and brought out the old Darnold. Sam Darnold, we saw the
I think Stafford is, you got to give some real credit to Stafford.
Stafford played incredible and he did his thing. I'm just saying, even if Stafford had like a mediocre game as opposed to an incredible game, the Rams probably still win this comfortably because of the defense.
Mostly I'm pointing at, if any other, I think, I'm going to say this and we can argue it if we want to. I think if it was any other NFC quarterback, at least from this year, I don't think the Rams win that game.
I disagree. I
don't. Who was getting the ball out that quick? Let's look at the playoff quarterbacks. Baker, under pressure, one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. Jaden Daniels isn't the best under pressure. Especially that's the thing. The Vikings were getting there quick. Stafford just knew how to beat that. Is Jalen Hurts doing that?
I see what you mean.
Any other NFC quarterback, the Rams do not win that game.
I get what you mean. I thought you meant the other way around. I get you. Yeah,
Stafford deserves
absolutely.
a huge amount of credit for being that guy.
Sure.
That's what I meant. Sorry,
I genuinely thought you were trying to say the Rams wouldn't get pressure like that against any other NFC team, and I was like, whoa.
No,
but no, I get what you mean now.
Yeah,
because I was going to say, I was about
any
to
other
start
quarterback
saying,
was playing for the Rams, I don't think the Rams win that game.
I was going to say, especially because the first person you brought up was Baker, I was going to be like, that's the obvious one that the Rams defense would beat alive. What are you doing?
No,
I get you now.
Yeah. Also, I'm
sure,
sad.
Absolutely. We know the Vikings lost.
Don't even care really about that part.
What, Harrison Smith? Is that what this is?
Yeah.
We get it. Harrison Smith might be gone.
Dude,
Probably not.
I want him to run it back one time with J.J. McCarthy just for shits and giggles.
He's not going to play safety, though. If he doesn't, you got to move him down into the box permanently.
He's still been awesome.
I know, but that was still another year. He's going to have another off season where he could start to slow down a little bit.
Maybe he does, and then you move him fully into the box, but maybe he doesn't. You don't need to. Or you find, because Cam Bynum is not under contract, you find a better guy to be the true deep safety all the time. Which you absolutely can, because of, I got to double check who's available, but there are some really good free agent safeties available this year.
Me.
No.
Anyway, let's pick some divisional games.
Uh-uh.
Now that we've
okay.
The wild card. We'll start with first game tomorrow. I guess technically tomorrow as you're watching this. Yeah. Texans at the Chiefs. I will take the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chiefs. I'm not picking the upset. I think it could happen, but I'm not picking it. I'm not dumb.
Commanders at the Lions, Saturday night game. I'm going to take the Lions, unfortunately.
Lions.
I do think they will get at least one win this year.
No, I'm gonna go by what I said is the difference maker in playoff games. It's quarterback. I'm gonna pick the Commanders. Worst that happens is I'm wrong, but at least I didn't pick the fucking Lions.
First Sunday game, Rams at the Eagles. Give me the Eagles.
Give me the Rams. We've seen the Eagles beat them, but I don't care.
They rushed for like 200.
Yeah, I don't care. Not this time.
I'm going to lean towards the Eagles, but I think it's a lot closer than people would expect.
Oh, I think it's going to be very close.
Yeah.
I think the difference in this game is going to be Philly's offensive line not letting up nearly as much pressure as Minnesota's did.
Yeah.
And I think Hurts is going to have a lot more time. They're going to be able to run the ball more successfully. And I also think Stafford is going to be asked to pretty much replicate the same performance he just had with Philly's front that's going to be sending the house at him with a much better secondary backing them up.
Yep.
I do want to say, though, we did just talk about the pressure the Packers created against the Eagles. The Rams are better at all of that.
Yeah, but I also trust that line to look at what happened last week and rebound from it. I don't.
Sure.
Like Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata, Mailata's back, right? Or am I high?
I don't know.
He played. Yeah, he played.
He did? Okay. Because I know he was hurt for a little bit earlier this year, and I totally missed that somehow. But, I trust the two of them to look at what happened last week at the very least and go, okay, not again. No, sir. However, if Jared Verse comes out and starts treating number 1 right tackle in the league like number 3 right tackle in the league, then conversations can be had.
Yeah.
I'll put it this way. If the Rams beat the Eagles this week, I think they're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's good. There's a good chance. Ravens in Buffalo. Snow game looks like.
Snow game? Oh, yeah. Ravens.
Ravens.
I'm taking the Ravens.
Pat Ricard is going to knock the snow out of Matt Milano.
Rams Eagles is also a snow game. From what
Ooh.
So, 2 playoff snow games on Sunday.
No, I think Kyron's still really good. So
Okay, but Saquon channeling LaShawn McCoy in the snow in a playoff game.
Yeah, but what if he doesn't channel LaShawn McCoy? What if Saquon's kryptonite is snow? I don't know if we've ever seen Saquon run in snow.
There's no way.
Did we all go? Shut up.
His kryptonite is a bad offensive
We
line.
all went
Ravens.
Ravens.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Saquon's kryptonite is the New York Giants playing for them.
True.
We saw him with We saw what it would look like if Superman had kryptonite strapped to his chest all of the time. Now they took the kryptonite away. Batman saved him. Literally, Batman saved him. They got Devonta Smith.
Skinny Batman.
Yeah, so before we wrap today, we do have some exciting news. We're going to be doing an RTN awards show of our own creation the week of the NFL Honors, which is the week before the Super Bowl. So we're going to get the categories to you now. We're going to let you guys yap about the nominees and who they should be. And then next week we will have a list of nominees, and that will begin the voting process. So this is the list that I have. I think this is what we're going to go with. We have Block of the Year. We have Fullback of the Year. We have the Most Improved player, the Least Improved player, Able player, Special Teams Player of the Year, and the Kicker of the Year.
Yeah.
That is what we have.
Can I propose one more?
Hit me.
Can we do like a fell off the face of the earth award?
Wouldn't that be least improved?
No, but like further than least improved. Like it's just gone.
Biggest fall off? We can do biggest fall off.
Biggest fall off.
Who are you thinking?
A certain fellow that played in the blue and orange last year that literally is not on a football team anymore that I have hated for centuries.
I'm sorry, like 18 teams wear blue and orange. Please try again.
Eddie Jackson.
Oh, yeah. Is that really that big of a fall off?
He went from being a starting player to getting cut from 3 practice squads.
He went from being a starting player only cut. No, the real biggest fall off would be Deontay Johnson because he was also actually a player. Just because Eddie Jackson was starting, don't pretend that's because he was good. He's the same level of player as he was last year starting. It's just but like other teams aren't the Chicago Bears.
Oh, sorry, I wanted to make fun of a guy that I think is bad at football and cost me the
Anyway,
game.
that's a good category, and we will keep it regardless of who we think should win it, even though that's not the topic of conversation today, as was made clear that we have not decided the nominees and will not yet, or the winners.
Can we make an
Anyway,
award that's just biggest stupid dumb idiot and give it to Grayson? Real quick, last second introduction. Your nominees
RTN,
are Grayson and whoever else the comments
RTN,
want to throw in.
RTN's biggest moron award. We'll do something. Yeah, we'll do some kind of Grayson award.
Oh,
Anyway,
we still got to figure out who won the picks for the year.
yeah, that'll be announced at the award show.
That'll be at the award show. Okay, because hopefully
That'll be the final thing announced as the champion of the picks.
hopefully somebody else is getting that.
I
I would
really hope
assume
we're
so.
not.
2 years in a row of buying himself a trophy.
Well, no, I only bought it
Unbelievable.
once.
Crazy.
I only
I
bought
know,
it
but
once.
At this point, you just bought it and kept it. You're
yeah.
refusing to
Maybe
share,
you guys
sounds
should
like.
get better.
Anyway,
they're
if you
throwing
want to
on
talk to
purpose?
us, if you want to talk to us about our nominees, be sure to drop a comment on the YouTube and subscribe while you're over there, and follow us on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it.
Twitter, don't call it the other thing.
I guess follow us on TikTok, although that probably doesn't matter for much longer. We'll probably start posting on YouTube Shorts. I would say that's probably our best bet. Posting all of the little funny meme videos we make on YouTube Shorts. So be sure to really go subscribe to us on YouTube because we might be permanently there. So go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube at Run North Pod. Twitter, you can keep up with us on all of our picks and that's how you're gonna mostly submit your nominations for these awards. And if you're on Spotify, give us a rate and review. That'd be greatly appreciated. We will see you guys next time.
Bye.